Good day, man. It's good to be back on the closing argument. Today is a fresh week. Today is Monday, October 7th, 2024. Uh, I hope everybody, wherever you are doing well. You are doing great. Uh, we are happy to be back on the closing argument. The closing argument is here to stay. We are doing great. We had a very tough weekend in the sense that we were busy all weekend. As you may be aware, the speaker is his delegations in the country, and they've been engaging Liberian communities in the USA and so forth. The president left the USA and he arrived in Liberia yesterday after his address to the United Nations General Assembly and a program held in Providence, Rhode Island, where he recognized and honored the senator from Rhode Island, Jack Reed. And the president spoke to the Liberian people yesterday. I hope my guys in the studio, I hope they can play some of the excerpts of his comments from his trip to the U.S. He spoke with a president, according to folks that watched it. I was at a town hall event, so I could not pick up his live coverage, but I have not had the time to go through it because it was out a hectic weekend, and I got it this morning. I had to go to work, and just been too much. But it's good to be back, and we always will be here for you guys. As long as you guys want us to be here, we'll be here. But the Peabody is president on his way back. He's traveling. Pray for traveling mercies for him. He and his wife coming way back from out of the country where they had a week of spending the anniversary and his birthday. Yeah, presently heading back to the USA. And Chairman Sanvee is still at work. Hopefully, he will join us sometime during the program. Rest of the panelists, I think they are coming on. As you all know, we all have our full-time jobs, so you gotta make sure you take care of that business before you come here, because that way you pay the bills from, and to keep you in America, and you gotta make sure you pay the bills. But quickly, let us recognize some of our viewers who are already here. I see Susan P is already here. Bill Sampe, Alio Kamara. Guys, welcome and happy to be back on the closing argument. My guys in True FM, Myean, Henry, or Ansu, anyone of you guys there, can you guys join me on studio, please? Can you join me on the set, please? Can you guys, one of you guys join me on the set? I don't know where you guys are. Yeah, but guys, again, like I said, we're gonna start off with just some things we'll be discussing tonight. There are a lot of things happening in the government in the country. I will start first with the Speaker of the House town hall event he had yesterday. Pennsylvania is a place where I can't tell when the last time Liberian elected official came here was during the administration of President Salif. At the time, it was then Vice President Boyka. He came to Pennsylvania at a town hall event. Pennsylvania is a politically charged environment. And at that time, the former vice president at the time, he was booed off the stage. The Liberians that was there, they tried to go after him about the main issue that they were having in mind was what they call the bogus concession agreements that were passed by the earlier administration and the legislature. So they were on him for that, and he tried to explain to them, but then at the time, the crowd became disgruntled and started to just veer him down. The U.S. security had to take him off the stage, and put it into his car, and he left. Since then, we have not had any elected official to come here to engage Liberians in Pennsylvania. And this time around, the speaker braved the storm and decided to come to engage Liberians in Pennsylvania, and he showed, and he came to, and he had a very tough engagement, but he stood his ground for more than 3 hours. He answered all the questions they asked him. And he explained to them the legislative processes, how it works. He talked about having 3 blocks in the legislature. You got the independent block, that's about 15 members in our block. These are lawmakers who are elected as independents. You got a rescue block. That's the block of that you have with the ruling establishment. You got a CDC block. And you got the 3 blocks he has to control and work with. And in order to do it, we definitely make sure that we are in control of the blocks, because it's not easy to govern in that manner. He explained to us, and then he welcomed Sylvester Pewee. Welcome.
Thank you.
And then he also explained about Liberians. We should be proud of ourselves, and that's why it's important that every Liberian in the diaspora, especially in these United States, that are interested in transforming that country, you should not sit on the fence anymore. Get involved. Do you know that we remitted over $800 million in our economy in Liberia? We play a very pivotal role in the country, in our country economic recovery. That's why it's important that Liberians in the diaspora make sure that they make the decision, they decide who become that leader of our country. We have the authority, we have the power to do it. We can do it. But we got to be together. We have to unite ourselves together in the USA first. Okay, but we're supposed to unite ourselves, and we can unite ourselves in this country. We can make it. We influence election in our country. I mean, to the extent where you even have other foreign nationalities, the Somalis and the other people. They have people in Congress now, and the Haitians, they are moving. We can do it, but we have to unite ourselves in the USA. Let's start with the group they call ULA. ULA, you got to unite ULA first. All these chapters got to come together. All Liberians are residing, got to come together. But you go in some chapter right now. I can tell you, in my former home, I call it my home state, Rhode Island. They are split. They have two organizations there: the Liberian American Community, the Liberian Community Association of Rhode Island, LACARI, and the other group. That's why at the Boyka's program, President Boyka's program last week, the other group planned to protest, but last-minute intervention by Senator Reid stopped that, called them to put it off. You go in my next door, Trenton, New Jersey. They're in court right now. They're in court. The bank account has been frozen. So if we can unite and come together, we can really make transformation in our country. But we have to unite ourselves first. But Pewee, let me hear from you, man. We had I didn't see you on the weekend. I thought would have seen you at a town hall event, but perhaps your schedule was packed, I'm sure. It was a very interesting engagement. And I'll tell you, it's not easy for a Liberian politician to come in for the Pennsylvania, especially Philadelphia, to come in our Liberians. President Salif, she didn't even try it. President Weah didn't. And even when Boyka tried to do him as vice president, they bring him out off the stage. But so it was an interesting weekend, and I think what the speaker did yesterday is an opening to President Boyka, Vice President Kuhn, and Senator Yombi Kanga Lawrence. She was also in the USA. I think she's still in the USA. I'm surprised, as head of the Liberian Senate, she should have at least organized a event to engage Liberians. I know because they were all here for the UN summit. Okay, but again, that's where we are. But Pewee, before we continue, maybe you want to say something before we continue.
Oh yeah. Actually, I got the information about the speaker program. I think when I saw it in the chat room, but then I didn't have the kind of it didn't fit into the time I could just make a rush in to be part of that. But I saw your representation. uh, I think is that's very good. No, as a politician, basically, we always have to be waiting to go on the political battlefront. It's just like a soldier. It's part of discipline and the regimentation. That's why you have to be well regimented as a soldier. And it's the same as a politician. You have to always be willing to respond to the call. You have to be progressive about your engagement and the rest of that. So I thought the speaker engagement and the speaker intervention was very timely. If you want to be a politician, you have to be open to the process. Now that a lot of things unfold in the country, you know, I may be wrong, but I believe the speaker himself is doing these things. It's important that he should do those things. That may commend his necessity to do these things. But I would think I wouldn't be surprised if the speaker would be nursing presidential ambition or some leadership ambition in the country in the future, because a potential speaker, basically the fact that he is a speaker, he's still in line to the Liberian presidency. God forbid if anything were to happen simultaneously today. God forbid again. Let me say that. But again, it's just the process of life. We have to face the reality of life. Everything, God forbid, were to happen simultaneously to the president and the vice president. The speaker will now move into the Liberian presidency while we wait up to the period of 90 days to conduct a new and fresh election. So, I mean, he is in line to the Liberian president. So you have to be politically active, politically prepared, and the rest of that. But I thought that was a good intervention. And you went there, you tried to take some time and explain to us basically, apart from releases we saw, because unfortunately, again, I didn't tune to it live. I was a little engaged during this weekend, so I didn't have the time to do that. But you give us some play-by-play description as to what unfolded there. But it's a good thing. And as you say again, Liberians, both home and abroad, should cultivate this sense of togetherness. It's important, and that can also help to prepare the country moving forward. Because if we were to engage our country, engage instead of doing things to be divided, and it will always be this way, I want to believe. But sometimes this sense of reconciliation and unity will have to be projected. We all are human. We are all prone to mistakes. We all do slip sometime, and but it is important that some of us moving forward now cultivate this spirit of unity and just forge some level of peace with ourselves moving forward. I think it's important, but the country we have to forge on, and it's important that I thought your individual monologue before I join you, you struck some very important point, and I think we should concentrate on those things moving the country forward.
Yeah, welcome to Robert Garguah Jr., a former Liberian Community in Atlanta Association vice president. Maybe you don't know this guy was community leader in Atlanta, Georgia. But I think I don't know whether I think they enter in some kind of you too. As I said, they always say you Liberian community. Myself, a member of the Liberian community. I want a boat in Rhode Island too. I was there too. When then yo too.
But again, but then that means, sorry, before Ryan getting in, if they can, then I mean, why would we put more in national government? I also would do our thing in it.
I say we have to start with
so
ourselves first.
that's the problem. So to tell you, governance is difficult. Governance is tough. It's difficult because those small leadership here, those sprinkler leadership here in the diaspora, always there's a problem. Why? Then I mean, you should think of what's happening at the national level. Go ahead.
Yeah, but we got a lot to talk about today. We're talking about. Let me just share with you guys. I hope we can get to catch all of these things. There's the Liberian ambassador designated to the European Union, the Luxembourg and the Netherlands. Ambassador Nyenwolo. Maybe people don't know. Let me announce it. He has been recalled. He's in Monrovia now as we speak. He's been there for 5 days, and the ambassador designate to replace him. The Senate has refused to take up his confirmation hearing. I heard just now that the pro tem and Senator DeLon is refusing to take out his confirmation hearing. I don't know why. I will be taught. Hopefully, I will get to him to find out what's going on. The ambassador George Solo, who was appointed, and people, you can help us. Other talk, you can help us on the issue. His agreement have been accepted by the king of the Netherlands. Has accepted his agreement already. So that means you have to confirm the man. The man could take an assignment, but now they are refusing to bring his confirmation hearing up. Another ambassador who was appointed, the same the pro temp is going to refuse because she said, I'm hearing the information I get is that this guy fought them during the Liberia Party crisis. She was supporting Chairman Bealded. So is it because of that this guy's confirmation is being grounded? It's another problem. The Minister of Labor, now, the audit report that came up on him, he needs to come and clarify what it said in the audit report. And also the issue for public works, I got the letter from the public works minister going back and forth with deputy and the minister of state. And so we got to talk about it. And then perhaps we can turn to more deeper into politics that I can tell you already. The 2029 election, take it or leave it, it already started. People are already making the maneuvers. People already taking sides, already doing their own thing. So we should get ready. But Robert, you can come in with your opinion and we'll get this program going for today.
Yeah, look, it's great to be back. Hope we all had a great weekend. Yeah, so I've been in community work for a long time.
Yeah, so
I remember since I relocated to the US, my dad is a pioneer when it comes to our community. Yeah, he served as president both for the Liberian community and also for the UNIBOA, the United Bicycle Association, statewide and nationwide, right? So I was always taken to those meetings, and I kind of got involved with humanitarianism and all that kind of stuff. So I ran and I was elected vice president, the youngest vice president under Dr. My big sister, Dr. Somo Basel administration. It was great. It was great. And we left after our administration. We served 2 terms, Tomalin. And after our administration, I was asked to run for president, which I refused. I rejected that because I didn't have the time. When you're doing Liberian community work, you have to understand that more than likely you alone as the leaders will already have to put a lot of the work in. People will show up when things happen, but you have to put a lot of the work in. And I didn't feel like I had the time to really commit like that, and so that's how we left. We left peacefully. Election occurred, and one of the guys that currently serves as president was one of the individuals that I actually brought into the community. And I can probably say without my intervention and help, he would have never won. He served as member of the board before he ran as president. And of course, we've had our disagreements and things like that as we speak right now with the way the Liberian community is going. But one of the reasons why most of our community,
I want to well, I think getting the closing arguments and I get it back to them.
man, you can't really just start talking. But one of the reasons why our communities don't really come together is because the politics is more involved than a community service. People see community work here as an opportunity to get jobs in Liberia. You see the kind of fight that happened when the president or any leadership is coming to Atlanta or coming to Philadelphia. You saw what happened with Leon in Canada, for instance. Some people don't want to see that boy anywhere near President Joseph Boakai. They know what they're doing. They don't want the man to come and steal their show. So that's what it is. But at the end of the day, we are here for our country, and we're willing to serve whenever we can. But there's no one in this city that don't know me and don't know what I've done. In Atlanta, we have about 20,000 Liberians that live out here. It's a big community here, man, and whatnot. So I was privileged to have been able to serve, and I'm here. But I look forward to the discussion, Tomalin. I look forward to it. Let's get into it. I think you're muted.
Welcome, Lofa Julius. Lofa was in the Lofa was in the Pennsylvania area this weekend. What an awesome. In the Pennsylvania area this weekend, we caught up, and I thought he would have been at the town hall, but then I think he had left for Charlotte, but maybe he would sit there. But guys, tonight we can talk about the labor ministry, the audit report from the labor ministry, and then Roland Giddings and his deputy Prince Malba. And this morning, Councillor Gongloe, he appeared on True FM, and he called for dismissal of officials involved in scandals. He even broke the news and said that President Boyka asked him to be a justice minister when he took over, but he told him that he should find somebody different. I don't know. Even on the show this morning, Brandy Samaka announced that he'll be running 2029 for Senator of Lofa County too. So, but before we go to all of these topics, our first thing people ask all to talk about today, we want to talk about the LDA. Why is it the president have yet to appoint to act on the LDA issue? So they want to spend at least a couple of minutes to talk about it. Since we see all of them watching tonight, let's take it to them. They're watching. Let's take it to them and express our Liberian people concern about it. But Lofa, coming with your opening, we can move straight into the LDA, then we can get it going with other stuff.
Well, it was good. Good evening, guys. It was good meeting you this last weekend. Great program, and it was good being out there. I didn't want people to know that I was out there, but since you already told people I'm out there, no, but I'm just joking. But on a real note, it was a great.
Were you on Espionage mission?
I knew you would be asking that question. That's the reason why I didn't want nobody to know I was over there. But based on our involvement in the communities, people see reason to engage us in several different ways, and this event was one of those that we've worked with this organization because they are involved with women empowerment. They've been in existence for a few years, and so they did the invitation, as a board member for this organization, and after promising them that, look, if you guys stay in existence for this amount of time, we will commit to certain things to help push.
Lofa, your camera is your hair cut off.
Well, like, you want my hair or you want?
The people they won't see your Hemson face, maybe.
Is it better?
No, I think it's still cut off.
Is it better yet?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. So anyway, but the Women Empowerment International, I think they did a great job, and they're doing great work back home, impacting lives. So I was glad to have been a part of it. And Tomalin, thank you for actually showing up. I think it meant a lot to them. They were like, oh wow, the closing argument folks are here, and they were well appreciative of your presence. So thank you. But
well, Lofa, how can you wait? Let's shout you part of our women group here. How can Lofa? Anyway, I don't mess with you.
No. That's a good question, though. That's a good question. It's because I work with them. I help them to process their 501c3 paperwork, and I serve as an advisor to their board at the time. And I was working with them, doing other things at the time. The late Ben. He was often referenced to as Uncle Ben. He was actually, he by the time he was working, he invited me to be a part of the team because he had been following me from across Africa and other platforms. So he invited me to be a part of it. So I was glad to be a part of it, and it ended up giving me an opportunity to really learn a thing or two that helped me out in working with people from different background, because I mean those women are again, the desire to move forward and excel is one that you can't simply take away. They had a lot of other great women who came to move the program forward. So it was, but yeah, that was how I became a part of it. And since then, I just been in support of it. If they need technical work, they reach out to Lofa. I provide technical services to them, and that's just the extent of it. And then they asked me to serve as one of their you know board members. So that's why I was out there. But thanks to you guys for supporting their effort. Their endeavor is definitely needed because they're impacting lives in Liberia with women and in other things. But it was a great program, and especially with today. With that said, let's get into the actual politics of the day. I know you listed a whole lot that needs to be addressed, and I'm ready for us to really talk about those things because I see the president return. Um, yeah, we don't have much to really speak to per his return as far as the return on investment, but hopefully we can get into that. And then, like you said, start with the LDE. I don't know if you want me to start the LDEA conversation or you want us to go based on how we came in. If that's the case, then I'll hold off based, and then we can get into it. But it's a good thing for us to really get into the LDEA conversation and discuss it in
Yeah,
its totality.
yeah, guys, quickly, so we can cover everything. At least if we can just talk for 2 minutes on everything, will be fine. Quickly, so we can cover a lot of stuff. But guys, I want you guys to really weigh in on this. People are concerned about the LDA. Since June, President Bouacar suspended Director Kroma, Anthony Abraham Kroma, the other the Hassan Fadiga, right?
Yes.
Hassan Fadiga and the other guy named Bauko, right?
Babuko.
Yeah, he suspended the three top officials from the DEA with all pay. Now you have the guy, the officer in charge, this Christopher guy running the place. So now, from what I've gathered, I've spoken to, I went as I learned to talk to people. Investigations have concluded ever since. But it's a fight. Some people are fighting for, and like the likes of Mama Capability and others, they are playing. They are fighting for AB Commando to stay, and other people are fighting for the Fadiga guys to stay, and so forth. And but people concerned is the legislature, they control the power of the purse. They also have oversight over the executive branch. So, but guys, Pewee, I mean, what it would take for the president to act? Because the president is, I mean, there's no reason why he up to now he has yet to act, to take a decision on an LDA. So if he cannot do it right now, all the other issues that are pending. There's training issues. When you think you'll take action on all these issues? Please weigh in. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, thank you, and I respect the time because we had a lot of things on the 2 minutes. But let me say this. I think the Liberian presidency is a very unique, or all presidencies across the world, particularly the Liberian presidency, are unique institutions. And I think the power of the president is enormous. The enormity of that power is we can even discuss it and finish it today or even 1 year or so. It's a very huge process. I'm emphasizing the 1 year thing. I know it's not going to be one, but if the president issue instructions via some directive, and that's what the executive power of the Liberian presidency is in Article 50 of the Constitution of our country, right? So the presidency should be respected at all times, and the office of the presidency should also allow the Liberian people to uphold the tenets of that a high level of respect for said office. If the president were to come out and say there's going to be an investigation in something that was some issue of malfeasance being carried out in certain government institutions, I thought that that process, the long rope in the kind of a presidential investigation should be at least 1 month A month should be the longest we'll look into it. This process, I don't know if someone can help me on the show. This thing happened somewhere say in June or in May, late May or early June. For the
June.
president,
It was June.
for the president to allow the thing to slide on this way now. The issue that's unfolding, and I would want to say that it's unfortunate. What is currently unfolding is that the president does not have cease on this particular matter. That's what's happening. There's a serious argument, and folks are conflicted about how to move on the decision-making process, because most of the president proteges are the one trying to make decisions on this matter. So there are some of his foot soldiers, his surrogates are saying, "Hey, Mr. President, we believe AB Kroma is more loyal to you, or most of others are very close to you. We close to AB Kroma, so AB Kroma should stay. Dismiss the Fadiga and that of Bauko, and then we do this." The other side said, "No, that would be unfair. You cannot do other than supported us." So this is if the presidency is conflicted in this kind of a manner, nothing good can happen in the country. The president should exert leadership, and that's what the Constitution of the Republic says. Even the vice president cannot be assigned the rule of the presidency. That's what the Constitution is emphatic. The power assigned to the president cannot be transferred to the vice president. The thinkers or the framers of our Constitution was very critical in trying to insert those critical statements in our Constitution and the rest of that. So the Liberian presidency will have to come out, particularly President Boakai. I mean, you are our president. You are the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. So you should come out and take decisions that will be binding on the country. Don't let none of your foot soldiers or proteges will try to undermine a decision-making process. What it does, it exposes the power of the president. It proves that the president is weak, and where you are now a weak president. I know you firm, but try to come in and say things to the Liberian people, because to keep the Liberian people in this kind of I want to refer to it this particular incommunicado. You keeping the people incommunicado, basically. That's not a good thing. I think the president should come out and make a firm decision on this thing. The fight against drugs is a very serious battle, and the president should begin the process of coming out and making a very decisive and definitive statement about this matter.
Robert.
Thank you. Look, the issue with regards to the LDEA, I think is one that is troubling, right? And from my perspective, I don't see the sense of urgency yet with regards to the restructuring of the LDEA, especially as it relates to the emphasis that have been put on the fight against drug in Liberia, and the fact that this is taking so long, I think speaks to the president's inability to decide on this issue. And there are a few things that the president have got to take into consideration. One of those things must be leadership. I think leadership is paramount of all of the issues here that he has to look at. Leadership. Who has what it takes to bring back the sort of leadership that the LDA needs to ensure that the fight against drug is led from the office of the LDA director. That's one. Number two, integrity. Someone who has not only professionalism but integrity, which brings me to the two candidates, the two folks that have been, 3 or 4 folks that have been suspended. But I want to focus on the director and the deputy, right? There have been multiple reports out that have raised doubt from our own understanding about not only the professionalism but the integrity of AB Kroma. There was this whole drug bust that happened with a Nigerian guy, and from all indication, there were close to 375,000 US dollars taken, close to 1 million Liberians dollar taken. AB Kroma have yet to turn that money in to the appropriate sources. And I think recently he was being summoned to do that, or we're being asked to turn in those funds. I've spoken to some folks from inside the LDA, and we all remember Hassan Fatiga actually raised this concern when he indirectly spoke about many of the issues that came about and how he did not come to sell his soul for money and things like that. There have been multiple reports that have confirmed that A.B. Kloma has been involved into drug bust to benefit himself. He has taken monies from these different operations.
Robert, let me interrupt you, Robert. But then, with all of that information you sharing with us here, but why you think? I'm sure nothing came about an investigation. Why is the president still not acting?
Well, but I'm sure that's part of the reason why he's not acting, but that's not an excuse as to why he has not acted so swiftly yet, right? Because again, if the president wants to deliver, if the president wants to set the tone with regards to what he stands for, change, there's no tolerance for corruption, integrity, and the trust of the people, the trust of the community, right? Then the question is the decision is very easy for all our care. If Abe Kloman does not have the integrity needed to run the LDA, and he has not earned the trust of the community, of the Liberian people, then of course the fight against drug is dead on arrival. You cannot have a director of the LDA who cannot be trusted. You cannot have a director of the LDA who lacks leadership. You cannot have a director of the LDA, right, who definitely would not do the right thing when it comes to when you take money through a drug bust. What are the appropriate steps that have to be taken? Obviously, this guy have not proved that he have checked all of these boxes to adequately lead the LDA. So the president have got to decide. Why should I sit and wait for months to decide on this issue? Even if I love the guy, even if folks around me wants to keep the guy, the question is, does he represent what the president stands for and the message the president wants to put out there? Obviously not. Obviously not. So this is an easy decision. It shouldn't be about friends. But again, it speaks to Joseph Boaga's inability to make decisions. And we spoke about this during the campaign. Does Joseph Boaga has what it takes to make firm and stern decisions when it comes to the people of Liberia and when it comes to the message and the tone he wants to set? Obviously, he does not. Obviously, he's proved that he does not have what it takes. Because if he did, the investigation is on his desk. I'm sure he has perused it. What is it taking so long to make a simple decision with regards to all of what I have mentioned? Again, this is Joseph Boaga, and it raises questions about his leadership when it comes to this issue.
Let me be Lofa. I want to announce that we have been we send our links down on our show to the ECOWAS people, the European Union, the U.S. Embassy. They have asked to watch our show live, so that perhaps the only people our elected and appointed officials can listen to, perhaps, so they can watch it live. So if they tell you, if somebody tell you, say somebody from the embassy or the European Union or the ECOWAS mission in Liberia, the African Union, watch our talk show, we're not hiding it. We're sending the link. You can watch it and let the people be informed. That's why when the issue about the visa issue was discussed yesterday by the speaker, why they deny our people visa? Because a lot of reasons people are doing it because our people are not just being sincere. But again, Lofa, do you think the president, what should be done is July, August, September, October, 4 months, and this place is being run by taxpayer money? I mean, what would make the president to act, Lofa? What would make you to say, Mr. President, if you cannot act, then I mean, what should happen to make the president act? Because we cannot have the DEA functioning with all no heads.
So Tomalin, a lot of time we tend to see leadership as a form of, purchase goods. In Liberia, we don't understand that some people are born leaders and they understand what it takes. And I will say this today, right? Again, Lofa has been vindicated when it comes to speaking of the inability on the part of President Boykai to make decisive decisions, okay, that impact the governing process, the structure of the society. We saw this during the CPPs forming, were doing their existence. When President Boycott said, as an elderly statesman, I would do this, I would do that, I would do that, and he remained silent. He sat still and allowed the CPP to fall apart. So today, when I see that he's sitting again and trying to allow the chips to fall in place, I'm not surprised, but I'm glad that all of the messages that we sent out during the campaign are now coming in and people can see for themselves. Like when we said, President Boykai, based on his past records, okay, it shows nowhere in his DNA where he possessed that pedigree of being a true leader, because a true leader will understand and he or she will muster the courage to take decisions that will impact people regardless of how it goes, and you will be willing to take the blame or celebrate the results. Unfortunately, this is not the case. The case of the DEA for President Boykai, who claimed, okay, he claimed that the issue of drugs, if you remember, Tomalin, President Boykai during the campaign used the issue of drugs as a campaign message. He said the CDC government brought in so much drugs, kush, and because of that, he needed to come and rescue the nation. So for us to sit here today and wonder as to why President Boycott is yet to make a decision on the recent incident at the LDEA, it speaks volume. This is not rocket science. You shouldn't have to sit in the political science class like my brother Pewee and other people who have done due diligence to understand that the political arena, to even just sit and tell the public that unfortunately this is all politics. They are politicizing the lives of innocent people. And in that regards, let me just say this. I listened. Robert said something about the recent statement that is literally trending the social media. I listening to, and I will give him his credit on this. Why it is true that his appearance on another media network, SKTV, to credit them, Ebi appeared on SKTV and he spoke to that. Okay, his appearance with the judge or the team had nothing to do with.
Oh, wait, he already.
Yes, he spoke to that. He
What?
spoke to that. Yes, he said that that is complete false. He even spoke of why he went to meet the judge. The judge he met with was the complete opposite of what was stated, and he claimed that this is a propaganda from those who are battling him for his position. So to just kind of be fair, in all honesty, this was his position. He claimed that his meeting with the judge had nothing to do with any money that was stolen, and in fact, he provided video evidence of when the raid was carried on, the media presence, and the fact that when these things are done, there are documentation as to what is taken, and signatures are affixed to those documents to prove what was taken at the time, what is in the possession of the legal practitioner, and hopefully those that are overseeing that. But because he's saying again, it is just propaganda, but the motive he did not speak to, and 98% of the questions that were posed to him, he did not answer them. Nevertheless, I am one person who will, in this regard, agree with Robert that I don't think this man possessed the level of professionalism that is required of want to lead the LDEA. Let's be honest. This man is very unprofessional. I listened to him reference his colleague on the doing the interview as this kid, those kid, the children, them. You know, the level of being unprofessional, it just literally it just highlighted why it is important that we bring in an individual who is void of political sentiment. And in this case, this is what Ibrahim Kurma is doing. He's actually into this just because he wants to sell himself as that candidate that deserve that position. I'm not a fan of Hassan Fadiga because this kid got big mouth too. Okay, yeah, but in all honesty,
what a minute kid to again.
But he's not my boy. We're not working together. But I mean, though, honestly, Hassan and his, his talk, his loud talking and everything, at the same time, it takes away from him. But I don't think any one of these candidates should really represent the interests of Liberia. If we really want to fight drugs in Liberia, we have to remove politics. We have to remove politics from the process. Let us put in an independent candidate who understands and value the people so that they can focus on the fight against drugs as compared to simply just trying to submit themselves to the president so that they are maintained in that position in order way to enrich themselves. I'll stop at that point.
Sylvester Pewee, before as we end on this topic, why do you think the president should fire all three of them should go, should put new people at the DA? I heard that the former chief of fire service, Colonel Ellis Dixon, I heard he's one of those listed to be shortlisted to go there as one of the heads at the DA. What's your thoughts? You think the president should fire all of them and bring new people, or should you just bring them back?
Yeah, so what I said first and foremost about the president process, about the delay, we proved otherwise about the presidency. I'm not saying these guys are guilty on the basis of what unfolded at the time. So what I want the president office to do is, because there's a team set up to conduct this investigation, get the findings from this investigation. If those guys, if they are culpable, what you do, you apply this kind of court system. You're going to use your skill as the chief executive, and you're also going to apply the process of Article 56 of the Constitution, because all of them serve at the will and pleasure of your office. So if you believe that what is unfolding there on the basis of those things is that those guys will now coordinate in terms of building the requisite synergy to work together, then you remove all of them. If that's the case, that they're not going to coordinate and those synergies to work together, you remove all of them. If you believe that one of them is causing the problem more, or two persons causing more problem, then you take a decision on that. But the president will have to take the decision based on his own judgment. His judgment aspect, who can get the job done. Now, if someone is really corrupt and engaged in the process about even trading drugs process there, if that is true, that is no compromise. They should be immediately removed. And if they have bust up other things and recycle those drugs back into society, they should not only be dismissed, but they should be punished. So the president is going to use a very wonderful and great judgment on the basis of why you're the president. That's why you're the last man to think about things. You move in a situation room and try to see the report. What is this report saying? Is the report indicting all three of them that they engage in things, or is the report saying that they are not just coordinating with one group of persons? Is Baruko and that of Fatiga in collusion against the boss himself? It has established to be true. They try to undermine the office of the AB, remove the two of them, and AB stay, and you appoint two persons. If it established that AB himself is involved in some shenanigans, and it's beyond the shenanigans, AB himself got a lot of cynical or some dubious activities behind the scene, automatically dismiss him. So it's coming from the report. That's why the president set up this committee to do this report. It's almost 3-4 months now. So respond according to what the report is going to say, but use your presidential judgment as the president of the Republic of Liberia, because they serve at the will and pleasure of the president, only one person. If they are not effective, they are not efficient, or they're not going to build synergy to work together to effectively fight the drugs process that is a pandemic in our society, take a very major decision, and the decision should not be tomorrow. It should have been yesterday. Move and take the decision, take a decision that the folks will respect you. They will say the president is key because you declare war on drugs. You cannot declare war on drugs and you still try to decapitate the institution by not having an effective working staff. That is unfortunate, and it will run to further undermine the quest of the presidency fighting drugs and fighting it very seriously.
Okay, guys. Let me 30 seconds.
Robert, 1 second. Robert, start getting ready. We'll be discussing the president Robert yesterday. So his remarks he made, so you can start getting your notes ready about it. Robert, go ahead.
So here's my thing. I believe AB when he says, well, those are all just proper guys. No, I don't believe him. Absolutely not. Right? Anyone can say, look, we collected 375,000 US. Let's affix our signature and say, hey, we collected 250,000. That's on the record, right? I don't believe him. And is it possible that he has what it takes to do such a thing? Absolutely, yes, he does. But let's forget about the corruption piece, right? Let's look at leadership. I watched what happened at the Royal Hotel. I watched what happened when Hassan Fatiga went out there and used pepper spray to protect and defend his boss, right? I was at the Capitol a few months ago before this whole thing happened, and I saw Hassan Fatiga and AB. I saw how respectful he seems to his boss, right? And so again, people disagree all the time. There's nothing wrong with disagreements, right? But I don't think, and even publicly, up to the time that both of them were suspended, I did not hear Hassan Fatiga make any radio appearance denigrating AB. Who did we see on the radios? AB was. He does not seem to be a guy who has what it takes to quiet the storm in difficult times where there are major and fierce disagreement. He sees himself as a person who is entitled to that position because he's been around the system for a long time, and because of that, he owes no respect to his colleague or his deputy, right? And so he used all of the different terminology and to refer to him as a kid and as a you don't do those things. So listen, if I were the president and you want peace, you want leadership in that department, and everything that has happened, look at what happened. What happened has the propensity to have caused a lot of chaos. People could have lost their lives based on what just happened. So the president, it's not difficult. And one last thing I want to say is, why have they not released this the information to the public? What is taking the president so long to say, hey, this is on the basis for which I'm making my decision, and I want the public in the interest of transparency. I want the public to see exactly what the report or the investigation entail. Why is it taking him so long? So again, it speaks to Joseph Boaka's inability to make serious decisions here, but it also speaks to the system, the status quo, right? People wants to protect people that they know, and they want to basically look at Hassan. He's not a perfect person. I think he's very contradicting. I think that he's not. I don't take him seriously when it comes to choices that needs to be made. I think, and I tell him all the time, he's flip-flopped many times. 1 minute Joseph Boaga was not fit to run, the next minute he was fit to run. I've seen these things happen, but that does not negate the fact that on this
Robert, that was his brother. I said Joseph Boaga wasn't fit. Hassan,
the man support his brothers. Anything his brother say is reflecting.
Okay.
The man support his brother. He re-echoes anything his brother says, right? Because guess what? And if you notice, everywhere the twin, whoever the twin support, if Fatiga was supporting this candidate, his brother will support that particular candidate. They've never not supported the same candidate. I've never seen that happen before. When they were supporting Uric, they both supported and advocated for Uric, right? Same thing when they did not support Unity Party and Joseph Boakai. They both were going against him. But the president have got to decide on this issue. And I'm not shocked that it's taking him so long to decide, because I never trusted his ability to make these kinds of decisions. But when it comes to the best way forward here, I think that if I had to pick between the both men, I would fire AB. I'll fire AB. If he, look, he man has a private security company. He doesn't need the Liberian people money. What's the issue? I mean, let him work in the private sector and make his money and employ Liberians. I mean, the LDA should not be an issue, but it is an issue because he understands there's lots of money to be made here, and that's why he's there.
Tomalin, if you allow me, let me just use 30 seconds, if you will, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Togar, welcome, Togar.
So quickly.
Thank you, sir.
I want to emphasize on the fight that President Boakai again lacks the leadership ability. Okay, President Boakai in recent time. Okay, why the issue of drugs? The zombie. I don't know how many of you have heard of the zombie drugs is taking over Liberia. In the fight against drugs in Liberia, he's actually reducing. Okay. Budgetary allotment to the LDEA. What does that tell you, Robert? If your child, okay, had problem getting to school on time, and you said, "Look, I'm sick and tired of having to get calls from the teacher that you're getting late," what you would do next is you will adjust your work schedule so that you can make sure that that child gets to school on time, and that whole issue of being late is taken care of. That shows the level of concern. You value that particular aspect because you understand and you believe in your child's future. Unfortunately, President Boakai, in other words, shows no concern. He actually politicized the issue of drugs addiction because he can afford to send his son out of the country to seek medical attention. And the other kids are not going to benefit from that. So this is not, it's not strange to me that he's sitting here and flip-flopping between whether to bring Fadiga or Abi Kurman back. And I just want to send a resounding message and hopefully close on this note. Both individuals should be let go, and an independent candidate should be allowed to come and spearhead the affairs of the LDEA so that Liberians can benefit from the actual work of an LDA and not simply the charade or the show button of being involved with security and all of those things. One who understands the full spectrums of things that have to do with drugs abuse, the security sector, and all of those things can effectively run the LDEA and be successful at the fight against drugs. But you leave Abi Kurman over there, it will be just a mere charade. Every time he will pretend, bring the media, have them film him arresting drugs, and then just recycle it, and our kids will continue to suffer. Yeah, that is, one would say that is a wide allegation, but I sincerely believe if this man is allowed to return, that is exactly what will happen. But the society we find ourselves in, he's now going from one media institution to another to seek sentiment. He's asking of sentiment from the public because they know him to be this guy who can fight. He owns a security firm. They want him to give them job in his security firm or hopefully bring them on at the LDEA, which I don't think should be the right thing to fight against drugs in Liberia.
Before we go to the president's arrival and his comments yesterday, let's let Togar weigh in on the issue quickly in 2 minutes, then we can go to the president's arrival yesterday. Togar.
Thank you, gentlemen. And interestingly, I'm even shocked that some of you on the show, probably with all the intelligence network that each of you should have, or maybe you're playing games with the people, that you do not know that the report is out and that people even got copies now of that report and what that report is saying. It said that none of you on this show knows that the report is out and there are some things inserted in that report, or are you trying to play games with the public?
Let
me clarify, because I think people on this show play games.
Wait, Togar, let people wait. Let interject.
I thought you would have probably reconstruct your thought process first in the way you wanted to say it. No, don't laugh. I thought you are reconstructing that thought process.
Right. I mean, no.
Are
It,
you
it,
saying
don't say
you've
you're
not
progressive.
heard about
Wait,
this
1 minute,
report
1 minute,
or
1 minute.
read
The
anything
report-
about this report?
Yeah.
Or are you playing games with the Liberian people? As
it is
so
not
let me clarify.
an official
No, let me
report.
No,
You
what
cannot
about
speak
official
to
or
it.
no official?
No, Togar.
Are you
Togar,
saying
is it?
none of you
Togar.
on this show have
Until
heard anything about
it
the
is
report?
declared official,
But
you
we don't have
cannot
the
Let's
speak
official
to
forget
it.
about
report.
official.
Togar.
Even the unofficial one, you've not.
No, Togar. There's
Even the
nothing.
unofficial one.
Again, you've been around for some time in the country.
Thank you.
You should understand this thing very well. And it's unfortunate. I say you should reconstruct that thought process. Yes, you do you want me to come in and respond to a report that the executive master has not said the report is out?
Thank you.
Exactly.
You can't do that.
How in the world?
No, I just want you to be clear with the Liberian people.
No, but
have
there's
you not heard even in the vineyard about this report, the unofficial one?
No.
Yeah, but we're asking for the official report.
You say, oh, you laughing?
Now
Because
you want
the
to
way
laugh
many
about
of you
it.
sounding on
Come on,
the
man.
show, what is surprising me is that many of you sounding on the show tonight as if you've not even heard that a report is unofficial but out there, and what it says.
We cannot do
that.
that.
You still thinking that Waka recommendation, this, that,
Because
all of us on this show,
Okay, so
all
Togar,
of us on this show,
what's
one way
the
or the
report?
other, know that there is an unofficial report.
Togar, what does the report entail?
Okay, say you wanted a Liberian people that you don't know, then I can help you. But
Okay, what does the report entail? And what would be your recommendation?
But one way or the other, we're trying to make it appear like we don't know.
What does the report entail, and what would be your recommendation?
Yeah, it's not about what it entails, but I can give you a summary of what I've heard.
That's what it entails.
About the report.
That's what it entails.
Yes. So one of it is that the report says A.B. Nkrumah should be reinstated. The report says his 2 deputies should be transferred to any other area.
That's a recommendation.
Forget about recommendation, whatever.
No, but that's a recommendation.
The report
is a recommendation.
The report
is and we are making our recommendation
on the part of
and you are all saying the same thing. You started saying that report. Let one minute.
Why are we playing games with the report? Now, people trying to play politics here.
Togar, 1 minute. The report, Togar, wait.
Can I lay my thoughts on this, please?
Wait 1 minute before you land. 1 second, please. The report, as you said just now, right? You said the report, all the things in that report, according to what you say, for me, I don't know if the report is all they are all recommendations, but it's it. Those recommendations are subject to the president approval.
That's why his decision is important.
That's what we're saying. Exactly what we're saying.
Yeah.
Togar, go ahead.
You know, there are series of reports.
Go ahead.
Okay.
There are series of reports that are out, that are on the president's desk, that the president himself is trying to ignore and is struggling. One of those reports that I've even heard about again is the one that they left squarely on the feet of the vice president about the yellow machines. I'm even told that report, the vice president is telling Mama Ability and the rest of the people that made a negotiation for the yellow machine that, look, the country needs it, but at the end of the day, the cost you are talking about for this machine is too huge, to the point where I think we should even get it from Liberia. We can easily even get that machine from Liberia less than the price you're calling. So what the vice president is insinuating, according to what I've gathered, is that you are inflating this figure. I'm told that report is also ready to get out there. Now, the issue here is about leadership. The problem we're having is about leadership. I understand, yes, the guy who is the officer in charge of the LDA probably was recommended by the U.S. Embassy near Monrovia, where he has worked all his life, or basically predominantly a part of his life. He's been working there. Now, since he came over, they seem to be pushing the fact that, look, he's doing a superb job. Now they've interfered with the legislature. I think the House of Representatives also has said squarely to the president, we like the way the guy performing and we want the guy to be maintained. The president is left in a catch-22 situation. This is where we are. But this is where leadership comes in. You sought for a report to be done on the crisis at the LDA. That report is out. is sitting on your desk and you're making it appear like you cannot act. Now, the same leadership issue is when the president was way in, I think, South Korea or somewhere, when he acted on the LDA issue. Because he got a new spokesman that is Darius DeLong. Immediately, Darius DeLong tweets or Facebook about something, the next meeting the president had. Now, the president was able to act because Darius DeLong said, action coming now, and they why the president in South Korea. But since you heard about Amin Moda, since you heard about the other situations unfolding in the country, the 22 million, the fight at the public works and all of that, they said the president got to come home before the president act. But the president could act on AP Kroma and others from as far as South Korea. Now, we are saying the world is no more global, that the president will come home now before the president act on public work on the issue, before the president acts on Amin Moda on the issue. This is the problem. It's about leadership. People are playing.
You gotta apologize to us because we said the same thing.
So Togar.
After
all the swinging, you keep swinging here. In the end, you agree with us.
You apologize because you said the same thing we just said.
All of you on this show know that there is a report.
Okay.
But what you all have been saying is
you've been saying the same thing.
Is it okay?
A piece of job did not come out with a report, and it's the president that is reneging on Ati.
So Togar, let me ask you a quick question, right?
Know there's a report.
So Togar, your only concern is the fact that. So Togar, your only concern is the fact that it was not mentioned of any report. That's your only disagreement. That's your only disagreement.
You know there's a report. You know what's in it.
Okay, so Togar, that's why my question. My question to you now is your only disagreement. So your only disagreement is that I'm aware of an official report, but I did not mention it, or we did not mention it.
Yes.
But you agree with everything else we spoke to.
Everything else fine, but there's a report, and we all know about the report. Why are we hiding it from the public?
Okay, folks, there is an unofficial report out there.
No, but guys, on a serious note, it's not fair to the country for after 4 months, and as you are aware, the issue of drug is very concerning our country, and to have the 3 key officials of that agency they have been suspended for almost 4 months, and there have been no action. It's troubling, and the thing is that the president, I don't know whether it's we'll say lack of political will to act, because you gotta be decisive, even if it will cause you to hit somebody that are close to you, way up you got elected, you have to act in the interest of the country. So again, and I don't understand. The president, I heard he having a press conference on Thursday. I really want to see it because it will be. I mean, I don't know why. One thing, honestly, right? One thing I like about the people on this side, they quit to go from the press here. Quit to go from the press. Because where you want to dispel the myth and any kind of a suspicion about you. But again, that's what we found ourselves. But guys, the president is back in the country. He spent almost a week and a half out of the country to address the United Nations General Assembly, his first major address. From there, he went to Rhode Island, where he met with the Senator Reid and others there. They honored them. He came in the country yesterday, and people have a mixed reaction with the president's remarks. Some people said the president showed compassion. He's passionate about the country moving forward and so forth. But we start with Pewee to tell us. I have not listened to the president's remarks in totality because I was busy, and since then I've not had the chance. I've been busy all day. But if you heard the president's remarks, Pewee, in 2 minutes, what's your take on the president's remarks? How do you weigh on it?
To be honest, I didn't hear the president's statement. That's why I'm even trying to signal it just now to see if we have it, if we can play gist of it, and then some bite of that. Then before
moving. You got it there? I don't.
Yes, I didn't actually. Yeah, so I couldn't.
You'll play some.
Only be inclined to make any comment on that.
But why looking for it? Somebody can listen to weigh in the meantime.
I listened to the part of it, and the president basically said that he's not afraid of anyone, that the country must be fixed, that he talked about some of the things that were out in different places in different countries.
So excuse me, Robert, he's not afraid of anyone. What was he thinking?
He said the only person, I quote, the only person that I'm afraid of is God. I'm not afraid of anyone. He talked about his intention is not to go after anyone, but anyone who does not do the right thing, they're going to go after them, right? He talked about the importance of improving the healthcare sector, and many different things. Um,
Okay.
Lofa, you want to play it?
Yeah.
Ministers, the clergy, all of our team members. I want to thank God for their presence here. We thank God for being back here. Sitting, as I was sitting and everything, maybe a lot of things we take for granted. But when I look at the
I can't hear him, man.
North Carolina, where we were supposed to have come, without the very day we were supposed to have come, and the Secret Service called and said we should.
You guys want us to keep playing it? I'm struggling hearing him though.
Struggling, but I mean, for me, I didn't listen to. I mean, I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
The minister education was already there. And you can thank God and have an understanding that we are just men humans. All the things that we do, the great thing we're fighting, can be wound up in. And I look at the house necessary. But even the streets, how they are come. They have to use donkeys with labor, using services to a great country that has everything. We should thank God for what we enjoy here in Nigeria, in the midst of all of our problems and poverty. I mean, the difficulty that God has favored us. My only concern always has been that too many things for granted. For a number of years, we don't have roads, but we don't care. For a number of years, no education system, but we don't care. But we take so much life in other countries. We want to go and enjoy life in other countries. Let me tell everybody here, and I'm telling you honestly, it had never been my desire to fight president for this. But my desire had always been that this country will be a country well respected. I don't even think about it. It's not about presidency. It's about a country that's so blessed that we treat us so lightly. And you can see when team work together. From the time I've been going to states as president, the Secret Service that work with me is the best team we have ever had. I mean, the commitment of these people, not speaking to you, just doing their work, from taking us through the halls of the UN, going through the traffic there, trying to avoid violating rules, and up to the point, we drove, because most people are saying we didn't go by road to Providence. How those people were so organized. We went by road, it was like the group ahead of us is informed. We get there, they change the vehicle, and we move. I mean, I have always been someone who believes in organization, in things working. I seem to see, and you're not giving these people anything. You give them money, they don't take it. But they are committed up to the time that we came back to the, and everywhere you go, that's the kind of commitment that we lack. Everybody fighting. Let me let you know, I have always come to respect people, and I always said that even the person who cleaned the bathroom, I respect them. God cannot, He didn't make everybody, if everybody was equal or running the same thing, look, who will serve whom? But that's why the Bible says, whatever we do, let's do it. I think we're doing it for God. I always say, take with them, for example, you travel long distance. All of you travel, you're hungry. But by the time you get there, you're fixing food. Not that they are not hungry. It's responsibility. Something that we lack here. Everybody fight. And I can tell you, the time comes, God will give you. I don't have to tell you about myself. So I want to thank all of you here who are coming. There are a lot of you here who are working, where you haven't even been paid. That is for the country. And we appreciate all of you. I appreciate people who love their country, who work for their country. This trip that we made, it was a trip. Why do you think I've left for me alone? I wouldn't even leave this country. You never go to my farm. But if people are honest to know the situation this country is in this sub-region, we will work much harder. Because 177 years, we don't have road, our people up country can have drinking water, the cities are not laid out. And you don't understand the difficulty in that. Not that people are lazy. The women have four the other day. Every day they're calling for help. I said, but every time we have you, they say, you go right.
I think this is long though. I think this is enough.
You don't understand the difficulty when a country is not structured properly. You think it's simple, you think it's not lazy, but it produces.
Look, right. Yeah. You know, fast. If I want to say, okay, whatever. But I mean, I'm sure people would have time, but I just be okay. Let me just ask a question. I saw something about the wheelbarrow something. What did we borrow for? What did we borrow picture on Facebook for? And then I know I heard he said something about he said he's not afraid of anybody. I mean, I don't know. So I don't know why you guys make up of it. Yeah.
I listened to the entire thing, right? And I think the issue of the wheelbarrow had to do with him trying to tell Liberian that he's willing to, I mean, the purchase of expensive vehicles. Okay, he wants to address that by telling us it don't matter what it is, what I use to get to work, I'm okay with it. And then he spoke to the issue of his willingness to prosecute people. He even stated in his speech that even though people are dead, but they deserve justice. Okay, what that is saying is his insinuation that look, we will bring the war and economic crimes court. Now, granted, all of these things that are being stated are good. But in my area of expertise, my profession, we don't dwell on statements that are made. It's based on practicality. Your implementation is what we will be able to use to make that determination as to whether you are competent or as to whether you are capable of doing anything similar to what you stated during your interview or why you are at the job. All of these appeal for sentiment, this appeal for sympathy, it's no longer the place. I heard President Boycott attempting to sound very passionate about transformation, but I don't see it in his action. Saying it's one thing. After 40 some more years of governing, you still dwelling on sentiments and you're appealing for sympathy. So all of the statements that were made, I applaud him for at least standing up as long as he did and showing some level of compassion and attempting to hopefully reassure the nation that he could probably do something. But when I then compare those statements to the actions, when we say actuality, nothing exists. So what do I fall on? I fall on a broken hope, because I still see that there are people in positions who have shown to be incompetent. There are people in positions who have shown to violate the code of conduct. Nothing is being done about it. So President Boycott, I understand he may have been elected based on sympathy, not based on competence, but we are far beyond that point. Let us look for productivity. We want productivity going forward. Liberians deserve better than that. Thank you.
Pewee, from what you heard, I mean, I know you haven't listened to it, but I know you've been saying bits and pieces. What do you make of the president's remark yesterday, especially in the midst of trending scandals in his government? As you are aware, LSCC is investigating about the off-budget spending and all the things that happen behind the president. All the reports are coming up and so forth. But can you just put it, just to put it to his remarks he made yesterday?
Yes. On a more serious note, what I'm a little concerned about is that I didn't listen to the president even during, and when the president of our country, our president will travel out of the country, when the president is back, the major training issues would be the topical issue of the president return. Even if it's going to be a brief interactive conversation with the press at the tarmac of the RIA or in the palace of the executive mansion. Now, where he spoke was in the palace of the executive mansion. I thought the president would have first and foremost talked about most of those burning issues. The first and foremost issue, I believe, was the issue about this LCC process. I was anticipating hearing from the president that my administration would support the LCC in uncovering malfeasance in government or corruption, if you will. I was anticipating that. I didn't hear that. I was also looking forward to seeing the president talk about the that process. That he's said some talk that Burn leaders are new of sending messages to the will-be officials for government. So I was anticipating those things. The president didn't emphasize on any of those. He tried talking about his draft on to go to Raw Island and other things, talking about how the country is. Try to bring that back to the process. I was also anticipating this issue about the report. As we now are saying there's an alleged report, there's this report. I thought he would have commented on that for the long process and other things, but he didn't actually push into those things. But one thing I was there also from the president issue, the executive mansion statement. That's why I was trying to read quickly. There's a press statement put on the website. This statement is talking about the president visit to Canada, his speech to the United Nations, and his trip to also to Rhode Island, basically in Providence, where he honored the senator and the rest of that. And that's what the executive mansion is putting on her page here. But another thing, I was there also. I've seen the president gesticulations may have improved. On a serious note, see him moving his before the other hand was. That's what I was there. We talk show host of political pundit. We should be observant, and I thought I observed that his gesticulation, his process, is being far improved. The president have not been moving his both hands the way he did in the process when he returned. On a serious note, I thought.
No, but on a serious note, though, his physical appearance is great.
Yeah. His morphology.
Guys, I'm talking about the president of the nation. He has the best actor in the country. What are you guys talking about?
His
man
morphology
gets-
has changed tremendously. His morphology has changed. He have metamorphosed into a different.
Most of you guys, your vital only get checked when you go to the hospital.
Yeah.
You get vital check every day.
Yeah,
Look,
so,
listen.
so that's it.
For me, I don't care about the president's physical appearance. Especially no. Well, why should I care when the president is not handicapped? The president.
No, right? You care, but no, that you should
but Sylvester, the point that I'm making is the president ran on a clean slate of health. The president, for all indication, he said that there was nothing wrong with him. He's not handicapped. So why should I think otherwise of the president? Why are you shocked that the president physically looks good? Well, he's
an old man. He's age, right?
Yeah, but I understand he's an old man, but he's strong for his age. He ran on the premise that he was well and healthy, and so I expect nothing less. Now, had the president appearance appear otherwise than what they ran on, then that would be a concern for me, right? But I'm glad he looks good. I'm glad he looks strong. Look, the president. I've never seen Joseph Boakai customize his clothes. Joseph Boakai clothes outfits these days are being customized. I mean, you see all his shirt has JMB on it. And so I mean, there's perks that comes with the presidency, right? And I'm sure that he's taking advantage of those perks. But let me say this. Look, talk is cheap, right? But you've got to walk the walk. And I think Lofa alluded to that. Talk is cheap. He talked about how organized and how amazed he was by the organization of those folks, the Secret Service, and how committed they were, their responsibility, right? I mean, Jesus Christ. You know what? They're committed. He talked about their commitment. Of course, they're committed to what they're doing. You know what? They're committed to what they're doing because they're in an environment that advance commitment. They're in the environment that they have no choice but to be committed. They are professionals. They'll pay for what they do. They're trained for what they do. But you know what amazed me about that statement? Is Joseph Boakai first time under the protection of Secret Service? This is not his first time under the protection of Secret Service. This is not his first UNGA appearance. He represented Ellen Johnson Sirleaf a year or so before their last administration. So what is the essence of this statement? He talked about the responsibility, people loving their country. Listen here, man. What is stopping you and Liberians from loving their country? What is stopping Liberians from loving their country the way the people here love their country? What is stopping you and those you've appointed or those the folks have elected to show a sense of commitment? What is stopping you from showing organization? What is stopping you from showing a sense of responsibility? What is the essence of this statement? The president just spent almost 2 weeks in America. You come to Liberia to tell us how you are amazed about the Secret Service commitment and their responsibility and how organized they were. How does that put food on the table of Liberians? Tomalin George, this is an insult to our intelligence. We don't care about the commitment of the Secret Service here. We don't. We don't care about how organized they were. We don't. What we care about is what have these trips to these countries in 9 months, what have they brought back to the development of Liberia? What have they brought back to the improvement of the people's life? Yesterday, I sat for 24 minutes watching how Ocean Drive was gutted by fires. That place is owned by a Liberian. It's in the middle of the street. I've been there. It's adjacent the infamous Invincible Park. You would not believe how long it took fire services to come over there. If it were not for the employees and the decency of people who actually went to that place to have fun, you could see people coming together, young Liberians who work in that place, putting their lives at risk. One of the kids even fell off from on top of the zinc, Tomalin. They had to bring him down to get rushed to the hospital. It took fire service over an hour to arrive after those guys are already done as much as they could to cut the fire off. What if I'm an investor and I'm looking at that? What encourages me to invest in our country? To watch your investment in a twink of an eye break down in your face when you could have had look. You know what? It wasn't even the Liberian fires truck that came. It was LPRC order that came. 45 minutes. When they got there, the damage have already been done. So we want the president to come back and say, look, this is what we are doing to invest in the fire service in our country. Because fire is going to happen. But when fire happens, what does the government have in place to mitigate these damages? What do they have in place? That's what I want to talk about. And there's something that really pissed me off. He talked about Liberians don't want to be beggars. People don't want to be beggars. Of course, no one wants to be beggar. Of course, no one wants to be a beggar. But what are you doing as a government to ensure that people are not beggars? Do you know why people are beggars? People are beggars when they cannot find jobs. People are beggars when they don't have an income. People are beggars when they cannot go out there and work and bring in a decent income to put food on the tables for their families. That's why people are beggars. So what are you doing as a government to ensure that people are not beggars? No one wants to be a beggar. People are forced into being a beggar because that's all they have. If they don't beg, they won't eat. If they don't beg, their kids will not go to school. If they don't beg, they will not have no education. These are the things we want the president to talk about. How do you, what policies are we putting in place to ensure Liberians are not beggars? And to be quite honest with you, Tomalin, there is absolutely nothing that he said on his return statement that as a Liberian who lives on the street of Monrovia, that I will be motivated that, you know what, at least they're doing something. I wasn't moved by that. I wasn't moved at all.
Welcome, Dr. Peabody, fresh from Mexico. Fresh from Mexico, just arrived. The plane just arrived a few minutes ago. This guy said, you will tell us all later on at the end of the show. He said, Tomalin, man, this place, the food, the drinks there just keep coming. I'm tired. So we'll make that trip there. But Togar, weighing on the president's remarks yesterday.
Yes. So, I mean, all ears were on the president when he came after visiting Canada and the US, especially in his back, that there were a series of issues that happened, various scandals that happened, vis-a-vis, former presidential candidate and an ally, I would say, to the president, Kehleboe Gongloe, had made some very stinking attacks on the government, violation of some key laws, the rule of law, the issue of nepotism, tribalism, and a lot of verses that Kehleboe Gongloe also unearthed. People thought the president would be landing at RIA with some very serious decisions. Unfortunately, what we saw was another cherry picking of the matter, another sugarcoating of the issue, another Liberian leader who I think is unable to touch the untouchables. That's all we saw. For the president to have even gone for the intercessory service at his home, because he did not go to a church this time. He went to his home for an intercessory service. And what he said at that intercessory service.
That program was at the president house yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was.
They were not at a church.
But by the way, when went to the house that time, it wasn't like that.
No, I executive mansion there.
Not executive mansion, got a man house.
At the man house.
That's executive mansion, load that out.
But in the man yard, the man got an office. The man got an office 2 feet for a yard. And when you had
the man a president about.
That's so nice. I said, yeah.
But I said it on the show the other day that is sort of transformation that have happened in our yard lately. You will be amazed. That entire yard is now fully fenced.
But myself, come on now. The man are president, we expect. It might be.
I'm not saying any problem with it. We're only just saying so that tomorrow when other people do it, then it will not be an issue, because it was an issue here before.
The president is a property of the country.
It was an issue.
We are on obligation to make sure the president's house is upgraded. Everything is upgraded with the president.
No, even the surroundings are all upgraded.
Yes.
Houses on the stretch out there, all upgraded. The foundation office upgraded. Where his son had the club has been upgraded. In fact, the fence had gone more than 10 feet high.
No, man, don't need a ball club.
I'm
I'm
saying
club to the Simba.
you got it, except maybe people can recall in the vicinity that was said, let the closing argument team go there to go to. You will see the vicinity, everything over there changed lately. Everything changed over there lately.
Yeah.
All right. So my issue is amidst all these things. In fact, the statement the president made at the intercessory ceremony, when the president said, "Oh, you know," when the statement he made regarding he can use how you call it,
wheelbarrow.
he can use wheelbarrow to move
wheelbarrow.
forward, right?
Yeah.
When he was talking about cut down on luxury, that was in direct response to Moda buying sisters in Alaska and all of that. He was saying, well, they should cut down on luxury. In fact, the government is now working on a new format to talk about how government entities will carry on their expenditure and all of that. Because technically, he doesn't want to act on Amir. That's why it looks like to me. That you're not guarding.
Any person guy the bulletproof car for them too. You know what they just got to.
Yeah, so it still makes it a joke. You just put in $1.1 million to buy brand new cars for the president, the vice president, all of people, but you say you can use wheelbarrow to weigh. Who using wheelbarrow will start buying $1.1 million car for themselves? The country is so poor, and we even in the region, we are among some of the highest paid officials in the region. You get Chief Justice them making $20,000 a month, Speaker them making $20,000 to $21,000, Pro Tem them making that money too huge. In the region, the highest some people are paid at $3,000, $2,000 some more US dollars. When you do the conversion, we amongst the highest paid in the region, and we so poor. The seat in the president was saying in that speech, like, oh, as a country, the country got enormous resources. Yes, it's true. This country has enormous resources. The money their country got, the resources their country got can take care of all. The problem we have is that a lot of people benefit at our detriment, and they want us every morning to be to their houses to go beg them to survive. And if
I see. Yeah, they put the government. I'm with on that. Yeah, I'm with you. You see,
the government not Togar. Oh,
I keep wanting. I keep wanting here. He won't list it. Come on back in the movie.
The data finish.
Well, you can weigh in, but also too, I hope we can talk about it.
Weigh in, then we'll get to the next. But Togar,
data not come back.
My money not feeling. What sort of country? 80% of the people you call millionaire in the country, all of them were in government.
Mm-hmm.
The America that all of you, bulk of the people that get money in the country in the private sector. And the worst that is happening to the country now is that all the same people who work in government are now seizing every sector of the country. The same man who are senator or representative, that the man they have for BYC or Mete Barrow or the same man running all a gas company. The same man. They see guys control the entire sector. You go to media, they control it. You go to health, they control it. You go to agriculture. So the other day I asked, for example, on my Facebook page, are we really that brain drained? I see Mete Barrow program the other day, Mete Barrow, OT. Then they say the new hair of Mete Barrow that Mo Ali, for example. Are you kidding me?
That man, Barrow, you know what hair for Barrow. I beg you.
Oh, I'm telling you, see what thing?
Why
is it that way? Why we don't spread out the resources? Why is only the people that in government get all of the money? Why are we paying people $20,000 to $22,000 a month in a poor country like us? And then they see people now come to say their country got plenty of money. We just need to manage it. How do we manage it? You get SETI, an Indian company is the one saying, today I had a class with some guys from SETI. They say they're giving rest, cup of rest to people, and how they helping the economy. So I said that cup of rest you're giving to people. Why don't you just employ these people? All these people that are serious working class people, and they come to your gate in the morning and you say you're sharing 5 cup of rest or 10 cup of rest with them. An Indian man right in the country. He said he's sharing 5 cup of rest with the people. And the people standing there to receive 5 cup of rent. But that man, you can see. So I asked him, where you get your vacancy? You know, my man Ellis Jones can always ask the question, where your website? So I was asking the same question. Where is your website? For us to see that there are some vacancies there, so we can be able to apply for job. Because many people just need $200 job. They just need $300 job. You get serious, able-bodied people, and every weekend you say you're giving them 2-3 cup of rent. How the economy will grow? When we're not creating jobs, we make everybody to be beggar in the country. They got to send to people get to be baking. Then those people celebrating and putting those people on cameras and making it appear like we helping the economy. We giving people. So I said, when the rent finish, what happiness? When the rent, you just get a member. Next week when it gets over, create jobs. And that is the problem we have. We need to change our mentality. It must not just be a lip service thing. I think Robert said that. It can be a lip service thing. Where we'll be talking about how we want to face the economy, how we want to solve the people problem, how we're looking for a company to come. When we ourselves, bulk of the money that the country gets, almost 50% of your budget goes on salary. No country going to develop that where 50% of the money you make for a whole country that you take from the poor people, it go all into your pockets. We're not serious.
Peabody way.
We're talk
about Roland Giddies and Prince Tamba.
God, it's good to be back. And let me thank all you guys for your birthdays. Which the witches were great, and I appreciate it. I appreciate everything. But I've been following the show. I've been following the president activities. Look, we blame President Weah for nothing. We say when President Weah travel out of the country, he stays long. Garguah travel. What's so important about the UNGA stuff that will put food on the Liberian people's table, that will bring development other things to Liberia? What's so important about putting a hat on
Senator Reid?
Senator Reid, compared to provide, you couldn't have sent even an ambassador to the United States could have gone there and do that honoring on behalf of the president.
And what they don't realize is those people who got Senator Reid is in the position he's in because of Liberians in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
They voted for him.
Yeah.
They're U.S. citizens.
But my point is, why is it so important? You blame Weah. Oh, every time Weah travel, the same President Garguah will sit there and criticize President Weah. Oh, they're not doing. They're doing the same old thing. Okay, look at what's going on now at the Ministry of Public Works. You got one man there who knows the job. He's trained. He was hired. In fact, you even borrow him from the ADB. You got another man there who go and talk all day about corridors. They're addressing the other corridors, and they misuse the money, giving contracts to all his friends. Look, there are a lot of things I'm hearing about this popular work here for the minister. I mean, they have screwed up.
You're talking about former panelists. Don't talk about panelists at all.
Okay.
You give a grown man job to an old man.
Yeah. You see,
President
then talk to a former panelist like that.
So let me say this. Let me say this, guy. I think that would be honest with you. I think the president made his heart is good for Liberia, but he ain't got the energy to do the work. He's absent from everything that's taking place. The president might be traveling again in a couple of weeks. I think 1 or 2 more weeks he'll be traveling to Europe. I heard. Okay. Every 2 or 3 months he travels. We said the same thing to President Weah do. We criticize President Weah.
The people every 2 or 3 weeks.
Every 2 or 3 weeks, the traveling. But then, what happened? The tangibles for the Liberian people. Okay, how many times we saw the fire burn the Speaker House the other time? We saw other places got burned in Monrovia. And even 4 or 5 months after, nothing had been put in place to resolve the situation with fire in Liberia. Nothing had been put in place. It would just be another burning somewhere, and then they said they'll do this, they'll do that. My point here is, I think the president has the heart to do it, but I don't think he can do it. The energy is just low. He can't keep up with it. He's not able to address a lot of the things because now, how do you blame CDC when you got rampant corruption? Look at the public work ministry. That's the one that really surprised me because some of the things I've heard about, they were fussing because I heard the deputy minister is saying he's not signing some of those vouchers. He refused because they had awarded some of those. He had given people contracts. Some of those they got companies that even the public work minister has share in, and he awarded contract to some of them. Some of the contract he awarded, he got share in some of those companies, and he awarded contract to those places. And you sitting here, you talking about all the things we stupid here. The more they talk, and I think the president have a good heart for the country, but he's unable to actually be on top of things. I mean, the older we get less energy to do certain things. We can't keep up with certain things, and that's exactly what happened. But the president came to the U.S. General Assembly. He brought over 50 people. They sat there. They said they were waiting to get UNGA for Liberia. All the things that name Liberia live on. That name Liberia just like big for nothing else. Well, we had in the UN General Assembly now. So how does that create jobs? How does that put food in Liberian table? How does that help with the water situation in Liberia? The other day they said a pipe were off. In fact, I heard the managing director is giving 1 month free bill. Nobody's going to pay bill. He got a stimulus. How does that provide water? How does that provide stable electricity to the country? How does that stop the rampant corruption that's taking place right now? He's unable to deal with that. He's unable. I'll stop right there.
The airport, that Peabody, you can add this to the dossier of information. The airport now has free water to Mo Ali. The entire roof is leaking, and the place is flooded. And then
guys, I would defend Mo Ali. Mo Ali, I mean, not big of fan of Mo Ali, but Mo Ali is doing a good job.
Okay, let's quantify.
But you don't move on.
No. The people, Tomalin, I beg you, please. Let's quantify. Like when you say good job, let's quantify that assertion. Let's see how
the pipes are not being open. What I'm running to the pipes.
That would be a different topic. It had to quantify.
See, okay, now because it's
because those waters are not even safe to drink.
Yeah, but they put the other things up. They put the stuff in them, man.
We'll try it. Well, you go like, bro, why you don't drink it, Timothy? Huh? Why you?
I hope you're not drinking no pipe water.
Come on. But guys, look, quickly. You don't talk about it. You want to go Ministry of Public Works. Oh my God.
Yeah, public work.
It's a serious problem, though. I reached out to the Minister of Public Works. He said he was in Lofa. He said he was in the corridor, in Lofa corridor, and he'll be coming back. And I think Peabody reached out to the other deputy. So we're trying to get them to see what happens. But you guys have been hearing the news. Do you think what's happening at Public Works? Who you think is in the right or who is in the wrong? Because I would say that I mean, the Minister of Public Works is saying that he runs the ministry. He's the man in charge. He should be calling the shots. And even when the president was going to China, he should have been the one that the president wanted to take. But then they said that the minister was asked to go, and the minister said no, he will go, and everything. And then even according to what I learned further, according before the deputy got his job, he was told that he will appoint the assistant ministers. And then, but the issue of all the contracts then come about now, they want him to give a test his signature because he's the deputy for technical affairs. So now he's refusing, and it's a problem. Because just like to say, I make commitment. I said, okay, don't worry, TCA will do this. I'm committed. I'm the head. But then I can find out now. Lofa then saying, he said, Lofa, you should sign the thing for put a proof thing. Lofa said no. You honor my enemy, all right? How do you call it? Yeah. But that's not my Public Works. So you're waiting, Pewee. That's
look. Let me try to Pewee. I don't think, Tony, if you and I are the boss, are you the boss? And I'm responsible to do certain things, and I'm refusing to do it. And I say, look, this is not correct. Something is not right here. It's not in place. Let me tell you the rumors that I heard. The rumors. I tried to reach even the deputy minister, but I didn't get him. But let me tell you what I heard. Okay, that he's refusing to sign because some of the contract that awarded was done abruptly, was illegal, and he did not want to attach his name to that. I heard that the deputy minister of technical services was the role engineer with African Development Bank. So when it comes to the roles in different areas, he's expert on that. It doesn't mean that Gideon cannot manage him. It doesn't mean that Gideon cannot lead him, But what I heard, there were some contracts that were awarded that even the minister, this is alleged, that the minister has shared in some of those businesses that he awarded those contracts to. Okay. I heard there was a misappropriation of that $22 million. and the deputy minister was not happy about it. So he did not want to get his signature on some contracts, certain things, so he refused to sign those vouchers. And that's where the problem have been. That's why they've been having all that problem. You remember when we came out earlier, we talked about that $22 million, and they said it was soul sourcing. They used the big word, say soul sourcing, they need some project done immediately and all of that. That immediate soul sourcing thing has a lot of corruption in it. And that's what that's the problem that is going on right now. It's not, I don't believe it's undermining. What I believe is just putting the right thing in place. And that's what has been happening. And that's why the deputy minister does not even want to attach his signature to that, because this guy was technically loaned to Liberia government from by the ADB. Even though he's a Liberian, he was technically loaned to the Liberian government from the African Development Bank for about 2 or 3 years. And with that going on, that's the problem. We talk about it when the $22 million got missing. The very first time when they went to the Senate and Dylan then were talking, we back for him. That's when it started, and that when the whole saga started. I've been trying to reach the deputy minister. I've not gotten him, but from the rumors I heard, that's how the whole thing.
So Doc, Peabody, let me ask for clarity here. You begged for him based on what? Why were you guys begging for him?
You remember when Gideon went to the Senate and did on him back to the Senate because he did not go through the PPCC and all of that?
Okay. Okay. I told you said we begged for him because I'm about to say I didn't beg for him. Okay.
So listen. Here is my thing, Doc. I'm still trying to collect the details on what's going on. I will try to reach out to the public work minister myself. But here's the thing: if this is about integrity, right, and that he's not willing to affix his signature to contracts that he deemed tainted, why has he not resigned? I will resign. I mean, it's not that difficult, right? I will resign. I think
the president asking to steal.
I think no. Well, here's the thing. I know for a fact that from day one there were other people within the Unity Party who suggested that Giddens should not have been appointed as public work minister because they felt like this guy had more technical experience in that area than Giddens. You remember when Giddens came on the show and people questioned his qualification? You heard his response, right? That he has worked in the ministry, okay, and he's been there. He understands the technical know-how of that ministry that qualifies him to be public work minister. There have been some infights going on. Way before the Senate even approved of Giddens, right? I personally think that Giddens is a good guy, right? I don't agree with a lot of stuff that he has done. I think he's a good guy, and he doesn't seem to be a confrontational, problematic kind of guy, right? But I think that again, there's some undermining going on here, Doc, right? I think there's some undermining going on here. Now, if I was a deputy minister and the issue was squarely on integrity based on the basis of integrity, I'm not going to just sit there and say, look, I'm not going to fix my signature to these deals, right? I'm going to leave. If the president wants me to stay, then the president have got to address this issue head on.
Yes, and I agree, Brad, with some part of what you're saying. But again, from the beginning, most of the insight we're receiving is that the Guinness went as Minister of Public Works because most of the folks in the Unity Party that have pushed Guinness. The president actually went for Tamba. Actually, the president wanted Tamba to be the Public Works Minister, but they got to push him, and that's one. And the president believed that Tamba should be the Minister of Public Works, and that's part of the reason why Tamba is not resigning. Yeah, yes, but
so let me ask you that. Let me ask you this, right? The president believed that. The president, I know for a fact, the president choice was Tamba. Here's my thing: if the president believes that Tamba should be public works minister, why are you even opening this can of worms? If I'm the leader and I trust the deputy more than the minister, you already created a system of undermining.
Yes,
he believes that. He knows that. He knows the president preferred choice. So then why create this stuff?
I don't think that's the problem undermining. The problem here is what I heard. The president has said that Giddens is from the party. and he worked at public works before. So we're going to put getting there, and you're going to be the.
Well, he was pushed to do that. That he didn't
So,
say it by himself. His
party
preferred choice was
faithful.
Tamba.
Yes, party faithful, and
Pushing.
party ideologue
Yeah.
push for Guinness to be the
For
minister of
Guinness to
public
be
works.
there.
That is the process here. The president still believes that Tamba will be, and I will say on this show today, Tamba will be the next public work minister in this administration. Whenever there's a shakeup, Tamba is going to be the next public work minister. But here is this. If you saw the saga that unfolded recent time about the back and forth, the letter that was written to, Tamba was asked to travel with the president to the focus in China. Guinness objected to that. The Minister of State for Presidential Affairs wrote Guinness, informing Guinness that it was the prerogative of the president to see who traveled with the president. I thought Guinness slipped there. I thought Guinea also slipped there at the time, right? If I was some very tough president, they would have
Sylvester, how will you feel?
time.
How will you feel? Dan, how will you feel?
Yeah, so
Well, I'm the boss. It's my prerogative to select who I want to go with.
Yes.
Oh, you mean for the ministry or the president?
The
The
president.
president.
Yeah, but you
He can
undermine
select
the ministry.
anybody to trial
You
him.
undermine the ministry. If the minister
Huh?
is available, why are you taking his deputy?
Well,
That's true.
That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
But again,
Robert,
Robert,
in that regards, though, Pewee, you mind if I just chime in quickly?
No, go ahead, Lofa.
So the Minister of Public Work.
No, Lofa, answer that question, please. If you as the boss is available and you are willing to take this trip, why is the president preferring your deputy over you?
Because
you should
that
you know.
okay, because that institution, okay, it requires technical understanding in order to be successful at what you want. In order for you to successfully deliberate on the issue, you must have that technical know-how, not just the managerial or political aspect of it. You must have that technical know-how.
Lofa got it.
Then why don't you just appoint him as your minister?
No. But
Lofa
here's
got
the
it.
thing, though.
And
Why
that's
don't you just appoint him as your minister
that's
then,
exactly
Lofa?
Because
From a technical aspect of it, yeah.
The reason why
Very
the
good point.
president would not outright appoint him as a minister is because, again, it comes to play with the political and the managerial aspect of things, right? You must be a part of the agency or the institution to understand the in-house politics. And then you can apply your technical know-how to be successful at it. And that's what I want to believe the president is taking into consideration. And that's why he's not just simply taking this. Like I think somebody rightfully said, this guy worked in the United States. All right.
Well, he worked here, yeah. And what
Right. So now
yeah.
having him to just come in a society, in an agency where he is not well versed of the political and the in-house politics, okay, will probably be at his detriment. Even though he has the technical know-how, you cannot do that. Even in my position right now, Robert, my supervisor is not technical. I still submit to him that there are times where I will refuse requests that are being made, even when I got 3 interns that I'm working with and I'm training them on certain things. And when I have to make purchases or put them on certain assignments, when he wants them to go places, I'm like, okay, hold on. Let's do it this way. I would not outright say to him, no, we're not doing it, because it will come across as a form of insubordination.
Yeah,
but,
so before Sylvester come back in, maybe you can chime in on this, Sylvester.
But
here's my thing. But then there are ways to go about it to show respect, right? Because here's the thing. I understand that every leadership, all of us have our strengths and weaknesses. My team, we have our strengths and weaknesses, right? So, but here's my thing. If the conversation is about the need for technical know-how and people who understand the technical aspect of that, I would have had that conversation internally with Giddens, and Giddens must understand that, you know what, okay, my deputy can go because of this situation. But the president outrightly deciding that he wants Tamba because he understands that Tamba has the technical know-how, instead of going through Giddens, who is the minister of that department, it creates.
Well, Robert, remember one thing though, you cannot dismiss one thing here. One thing that you cannot dismiss is both positions are appointed positions.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
But there's also leadership.
Let me. I understand. But prior to making those appointments, the president did due diligence by evaluating the strengths and weaknesses of both individuals and the capacity in which they have to fill in. So when he making decision, it's not simply based on him ignoring the individual in charge, but he's looking at the strength or the expertise that is needed to fulfill what he needs. So when he say, look, I need you to come here, I think it is upon the minister to say, look, the president knows what he wants. I can work with the president to hopefully highlight how it could probably be far better than what it is. But what he did, to some extent, he was disrespecting the president.
Yeah, no, I think
that's a better. I want.
Yeah, that's a better finish. But sorry, I'm a man. Sorry.
No
problem.
problem. So yeah, is it? I thought, and again,
Also, please tell us how will you feel if you're Guineans?
But Guinea will have to bear in mind that the presidency is always the presidency.
Thank you.
And that's the process there. The presidency and Guinea was
you're fireproof or come on.
Guinea was also very blessed that this president is very kind-hearted. You wouldn't have done this with Madam Salim of Charles Taylor. No, you wouldn't have done that to Madam Salim of Charles Taylor. Those are leaders that believe that they are tough where they are tough. No one temper or challenge the presidency, right? In that kind of a blatant way, right? To go where the minister of state would write and say it is the president's prerogative. They will not remind you of the kind of letter. Yeah. So Guinea actually, they will not remind you writing the kind of letter minister of state. Then eventually, the end means here is that both men have to trial with the president. That shows some weakness on the part of the presidency also, right? Both men.
So they both travel with him.
Yeah, they both travel with him. So eventually they have to do check for both.
Yeah, I mean, because he thought it was disrespectful.
Yeah, for put on the trial with the president in that line. So right, and I do agree somehow the minister of public work is the minister. One of the reasons why they appointed him was on the basis of institutional knowledge and the rest of that he came as minister. But in past administration, most often leaders will appoint someone with good leadership skills as a leader to be the minister and appoint a very smart technical person to be that person. But the problem we have now, there's no synergy between the both men. They've been very combative to one another. That's why some people have been reporting rescue mission tend to combat mission. So it's quite unfortunate that we see. And Monrovia, look at Monrovia now. There's pop holes all over the city, all over. Togar is.
How you call it? How you pronounce it?
What? Which one?
Monrovia.
Monrovia. And I over there.
So if you see the even the old man James Maroon will not be happy. The first president of this country will not be happy.
but let me come in quickly on that.
On this kind of process.
Let me come in on that. The first thing I want to agree when people say I think the party plays some roles in getting the minister proper the job. Actually, the Engineering Society of Liberia and other technical institutions weren't happy that somebody with no actual technical know-how had to head a technical ministry. It has happened consistently. It happened from what's the guy name who is
Madam Sali
Kofi Woos. It happened with Kofi Woos. You know, it happened with the former senator from Sino, the late.
No, he's an engineer.
No, Maputo an engineer, right?
Yeah, he's an engineer.
Maputo an engineer.
He's an engineer.
Okay,
He's an engineer.
Engineer. Now, but in fact, the lady who took over after him, you know, Ruth Coker Collins, was another CC engineer. I think she headed the Engineering Society of Liberia and all before they brought her. Now, when he came on the closing argument the other time, we tried to quiz him on the same issue. The only reliance is that he had worked in the ministry before, I think, a deputy for administration. That's not enough. But even headed that technical ministry.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me interrupt you, right?
Institutional knowledge.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I don't think that.
The technical knowledge.
I come in about Togar. I don't think I'll be an engineer to head the Ministry of Public Works.
No, you don't have to be.
Yeah, so
you don't. But there are some things that are technically implied.
No, man.
There will be people who will tell you.
There will
be people who will tell you.
But no, there's a new law now.
Kofi will tell people who will tell you that Kofi will have serious difficulty running the Ministry of Public Works. Every time the people came and sat with him, contractors came and sat with him, he was completely lost. He did not know where to start from. And it's very serious. I understand also that Tama Garson maybe family ties with the president or whatever.
No, they don't. They don't have any
I don't know how
family
to
ties.
Oh, he's from
They are
Lofa,
all
right?
Kisi.
He's
They are
from
all
Lofa
Kisi
country?
people. They are all Kisi. They are all Kisi, but he doesn't have any family ties.
So
But,
all that,
no family
I
ties.
got ties.
I think Giddings
They
too.
got tribal relation.
Giddings has to play a cast too very well. If the tribal casts are playing, if the president seems to be leaning towards the guy even more, then Giddings has to be very careful. I think Giddings has to find a way to work with this guy.
Yes,
I've been around some senior managerial roles and I have seen how these things play out. You will be swept.
Look,
you can't be in the boxing ring with a guy that is favored by the president.
And the guy is competent also.
Operating alone.
The guy is also competent. Not only favor,
this guy.
he's competent.
This guy is operating.
Yeah,
he's not operating in isolation.
Yeah, Togar, Togar, the aspect of favor and competence.
He's
very competent.
I don't think
he's on a loan. Yeah. He's on a loan from African Development Bank.
For the president, president to have rating that he wants to travel with the man, and even the minister goes to raise issue with the president for wanting to travel. The president is who he wants to travel with. There were a lot of people who were not happy when Ellen Johnson Sirleaf traveled with Dara Ceylon. He was a fierce critic of Ellen when he traveled. Nobody questioned that. That's the prerogative of the president.
The woman is savage. Woman will bring all enemies close to the hall, and then
she traveled with DeLong.
Yeah.
So why should you say no? I'm the minister for the prayer. May the president don't travel with me. No, it's not part of your responsibility.
Togar, can I ask you this question? Here's my thing, right? We all live in a professional world. You just said something about when people came to meet with the minister, he was completely lost. Listen, if I'm the minister and I don't have the kind of technical skills or experience as the deputy, and we have a meeting coming and we know what the meeting is about, I think in the interest of the ministry and in the interest of professionalism, this is why you meet as a team to discuss these things so that the deputy minister understands what role he or she plays during that meeting without undermining the minister proper.
But again,
but no, the minister. But listen, if the minister had questioned where clarity needed to be made on certain topics,
yes,
and I have the technical answer to that, it is my prerogative now to give him some insight on how to respond or engage in these discussions, right? But here's the thing: we don't work as let me tell you something. When I was the manager for rooms operations at one of our property, we hired this young kid from university only because he understood PMS. PMS was a system where we needed to check and guess and all of the different things. A lot of the managers did not understand PMS. We got this guy. He didn't have the leadership skills. He didn't have, he wasn't a guy who could lead or shift all by himself, Sylvester. But when it came to PMS, no one understood PMS more than this guy. We worked together. We strengthened him in area of leadership, and he helped us in area of PMS understanding, right? So my thing is, just because you understand a certain portion of that ministry, does that mean that you can respect your boss or you can work together as a team? No. I think what's happening here is not only is this guy competent, not only does he have to favor the president, but someone said it right. He is not working alone. He is working with the power that be to undermine Guinness to eventually get Guinness position. And this is what's going to happen.
I disagree with you.
I don't think.
Let me come in. Let me come in. If I were getting what I would do, knowing that the guy has the technical know-how, I have all the experience, I will walk closely with him. And my name getting as minister will be high up there.
But how do you do that? How do you do that if he's not willing to?
Let me tell you.
So here's the thing.
No, Judah, let me come in. I'm hearing a lot that even this guy was responsible at the meeting that was held with Bwaka. It was agreed upon that Tama will be the one to appoint assistant minister. When they got off that meeting, there was a heated argument right outside of Bwaka door that day. That Gideon said, "No, I'm the minister. I should have this tax. I should be responsible." The problem here is, if I would treat Tama like he's almost my boss when it comes to the technical area. In that way, I would look damn good because this guy knows the area. Okay, This man worked for many years as a road engineer with African Development Bank. He worked both in the U.S., both and on the loan from the African Development Bank. He went in there agreeing that he would work with. Now, what we see here is a power. I'm the minister here. I work here before I know, but you don't know the technical know-how. I don't think he's undermining him, because when it came to those $22 million deal that the Senate that you were sourcing to get the immediate project done, I don't think it was undermining. Why is he refusing to sign the date?
And dog, I think that's where the real problem is.
Yeah, we
might not be seeing the real underlying factor. The issue in that ministry most of the time can come from kickback.
Yeah,
most of the differences in that ministry, the two parties will never come to tell you what the real is has to be. But you know, that just talk about the 22 million thing and how it went ahead. And thank God the president, it was part of the president's 100 days deliverable. So it was easy to have it implemented only by one man.
Yeah.
You did not need too many people involved.
Yeah.
When you struck a deal and you gave contract to, I think, between 6 to 8 companies, you did not need your deputy to get involved. You did not need due diligence or anything. The president wanted some implementation within 100 days. You swept it off and you awarded 22 million to around 6 to 8 companies. Technically, I can say unilaterally.
Let me get in here. There are credit report that some of those contracts that are awarded to those people, some are awarded to companies that are getting high share in.
So you see, Doc, I think this is where your deputy now coming in. The whole thing was a disaster. Let's be frank about it. You go across the country, the whole awarding the 22 million thing. The president can wake up tomorrow morning and even fire the public works minister, and the library will even clap for it because it's a disaster. You can see it clearly. The people that were awarded, they're not on the roads anymore. The roads are terribly and it's very deplorable, impossible, and all of that. So anybody can sit down and say, but they got feel And the fact that maybe the deputies were not fully involved in the decision making, every rational person is sitting down and say, something must have changed hands here. There was some kickback. They got some millions and stuff like that. And this is where we are. So now all your guys are now pulling all their boots and say, my man, we did not benefit the last time on the 22 thing. We must benefit now.
I want to speak to something really quick. Togar alluded to that shortly, but let me say this. I think the problem at the public work ministry is the matter of ego. I think ego is taking over the entire ministry, and people are not seeing reason to utilize people based on the skill set. Okay? Based on my background, we have what we reference as SME, subject matter experts. Okay? Robert spoke about that they brought in a young man who had to deal with the PMS system. In this case, this individual is the SME, the subject matter expert. When you need assistance with that particular application, who do you go to first? You address your SME, the subject matter expert. What becomes of it when everyone is upright and performing adequately? They're not going to say, oh, that guy. First of all, they look at the manager, the supervisor, and say, wow, you guys are doing good. We just implemented the PMS system, and all of you guys are up to date with the application. You're doing a great job. There's limited mistakes in how you input information. Good. You know who looks good? It is the manager.
Yeah, but Lofa, that'll cut you up. I tell you this. He did not go to operation meeting. If I didn't send him to operation meeting, the director of operation would not come to my office and tell me, well, I want this guy because he's more technically, he has a technical know-how. Well,
Robert, the reason why the director of operation would not require his presence in meetings is because if it is not heavily geared around that particular subject matter, if and only if that had to do with PMS and the director of operation knew that while it is true that you may have been his manager or supervisor, they needed his expert knowledge and input to address certain concerns, you will be asked to come along with him. He will be given invitation. so that you both can come in, so that these things can be addressed, so that you don't feel left out. It will happen.
But let me interject, right? These ministers they are all collaborative form arrangement they have there, because they all are appointed by the president and they serve at his will and pleasure.
Right.
So I guess it's a little different. Different.
But Tomalin, right.
And, yes.
But what I was going to say here is, I think it would be to Gideon's advantage.
Yes.
Were he to just simply use this guy's expertise. Like, look, there's nothing wrong. Yes. I think it's just part of us Liberian. The ego is in us. You know, you're not savvy at certain things, or you don't have the knowledge. But because we are so big in our heads, we would not submit to other people. I personally, had I been in his position, guess what I would do? Every time there is something going on, I would make this guy to feel like he is actually the one who is running that institution.
Yep, I'll go to the office.
Guess who's going to get the credit? You can go out and tell people, oh, without me, he can't do certain things. Yeah. But I will use that as an opportunity to learn. While we're discussing these things, I will use it to learn. And when the time comes for me to apply my knowledge, you will then understand that, look, you know what? I think he was simply just giving me the opportunity. He did not want to remote manage me or control my activity. But at the end of the day, I think Giddens is full of himself. He's not understanding that he's working at his own predicament, understanding that he's limited to some extent, especially when it comes to the practical aspect of things.
Well, let me just say to you guys, from what I'm hearing, you see, I can't look. They kind of arrangement. I can't work inside. You know why?
Me neither. I can't work in there. I can't do it.
The party is heavily involved. The party. They say the party. The guys, they're calling me from the mansion. I mean, you go ahead.
Go ahead. Go take the president call. This speaks to the incompetence of the
I'm not gonna lie to you. Dad, I'm not gonna lie to you. I will resign. And just let Tamba them do what they do. I cannot work under these circumstances.
Can you resign?
Resign from where? From where?
I resign from work. Give me the circumstances right now. Maybe will resign.
Maybe if that in America, maybe Gideon will go to resign. We need to get a resign from public work. But I think why you should
resign from public work?
But man, I will work with this guy. I have projects before I work where
on the field project can do that. I'm plenty.
What we're doing a presentation. This girl knew how to put all the different designs together. So 2 parts. I told her, you do the design, I will do the talking. I will do the presentation. You know what I say? She put all these beautiful things. We have managers, supervisor, all sitting. And we did that presentation. And guess who got the glory? Me. Because
the leader always gets the glory. I think, but Tomalin, that's a
but she was the technical person.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Strategy. And it works when there's mutual respect between the two parties. But what I'm saying, I don't think that mutual respect exists. I think
it was there. But it's not a warning contract.
Tama comes off as if I'm the most educated, I'm the most technical, and I have to back up the president. What can you tell me?
I met Tama once.
I cannot work under the.
I met Tama one time. He's one of the most humble young men I ever met in my life. He's very quiet, very easygoing guy.
Yeah, that's young. Why Giddens can work with him then?
Because Giddens already stretch your hand near the cookie jar. You know, his hands were already stretched. So the man said, you know what? I think if anything was going on there and getting recognized, this guy say, hey, bro, this is what will go on, probably there will be no noise. But because he was the boss, he started to run in front of things. Now I hearing that most of those contracts awarded to those people, they have eaten some of them ate money and will never do that. They'll never do the work. They are already taking the money. They won't even do
but you know, a true leader, right? It's just a professional sport. Like if you are a basketball player, your duty when I say you're the MVP, making everybody around you look better. And
Thank you.
Credit. You know, but how you work, even as a president, no, get people designated and people get them responsibility, okay? Yeah. And then make the person look better. But guys, look, we not spend too much on this Giddies.
But you're talking something about this
ambassador think that which other ambassador refused to confirm? They want
Okay,
to.
let me. Okay. The first thing is this though. Ambassador Nyenwolo has been recalled. He's in the country. He's been about 5 days. Josoro who has been appointed ambassador designate to Luxembourg, Netherlands, and Belgium. But Josoro is yet to be confirmed. I'm told.
In the EU.
I'm in the EU. We're concurrent representation to the EU.
Yes.
I'm told that the pro tem and Senator DeLong, who's the head of the Foreign Service Committee, they are holding onto his appointment. At the same time, too, another ambassador who are involved in the Liberty Party's saga, I heard he even went to the UN to even beg the pro tem to please allow him to go for confirmation hearing. But for Solo, the king of the Netherlands, I think have I know what you call agroma. Yeah, something is agroma, right? Agree with the medical camp. You know what I mean? For the medical resident there.
Yeah, the agroma.
I mean, I don't know whether it's fair or not. Like before he come Pewee, I got a call from Senator Dillon on Saturday, and he explained to me about this no verbal. He said it's true that he did receive a no verbal to come to the UN General Assembly, but he said it was not like anything to restrict him. It was because he had been coming to America as a private citizen in the past, or because he coming to the United Nations. So this time they had a right of no verbal for him to come. Okay, and that's how he came to the States. He said, but he wasn't restricted. He went to Minnesota, went other areas, and so forth. But
I will speak to that too.
Go ahead.
I spoke to him too. I'll speak to that.
Clarification, I have multiple do to come on a government-to-government trip. You have to. It requires that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will write the country you visited a note verbal. That's a diplomatic communication requesting that certain government officials will be traveling to your country, and we request that you provide them a visa for them to enter the country. That is the meaning of that. But note verbal come in different categories. They will have other official communications. If you're trying to even bring a technical note, the note verbal is official communication between two bilateral countries that got bilateral relationship.
And that's the normal procedure.
That's the normal procedure. If you were to move today and for instance,
you meet yourself.
If you were to travel to the UK, the foreign minister will write how they call it, a note to the British High Commission in London, because the office is there. The embassy is not giving a visa from Monrovia. They'll write the British High Commission in London, and then they'll request that they provide you a visa. That's the normal process. So now, the time DeLong came here before, when he first came to Australia University, and when he visited all the time, DeLong came on a personal. The first time when DeLong coming that time to school, he came on an F1 visa, right? An F1 visa. So that my first time also coming here to school, I came on an F1 visa. I had a civic registration number. I was given by the Homeland, the Department of Homeland Security. That civic identification number is the number that you're going to be legal on if you come as an F1 student.
Because we're not sure you, so we'll keep a radar on you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that is what it will track you on. If you want to do some transaction, if you don't have other thing, the social security number, other line, you use your civic identification number to do other business transaction. Basically, that's the process. If you come in as an official of government, we have 3 categories of it. We got the A2 visa, A1 visa, and all those things. These are all different. They got one for the diplomatic operations and the rest of that. So that's how they wrote it. They never limited him in terms of the 25 miles radar point around the UN and its vicinity and the rest of that. That was a blatant misinformation, basically. He did nothing wrong. They have never been on an investigation. He's not a risk element. He's not a politically something thing or what have you. So there will be no need that will happen. Now, on the level of the ambassadorial role and the agroma. The agroma basically is an exchange between two bilateral countries also. Now, they do have the period. In diplomacy, if the agroma is sent and then there's no response in that 1, 2 to 3 months, maybe they can never say, we'll not accept your agroma, right? If they don't want you to, will not officially say they don't want you to get delayed. They delay to a certain time, you know that they don't want the person.
Oh, really?
Yes, they will not tell you no. It's diplomacy. It's a very unique culture. It's a unique culture. But if
they accept you in no time. As soon as they send Tomalin name, they will respond, okay with Tomalin. You accept. But if they're not accepting you, then it will drag on. So you have to read diplomacy. If they drag on for this time, meaning that they don't want you. They're not going to tell you we don't want the person or we don't. Under some circumstances, if the person is declared PMG, persona non grata, then it will tell you why they declare the person persona non grata in those kind of conditions. So with the Abraham being accepted, and the only reason why the confirmation cannot go on is that when the Abraham is not accepted, you cannot go for confirmation. The president will not send a NISA to the Senate. But if it is accepted, they will send a need, meaning you can now go for confirmation. In some cases, the executive mansion will not announce the appointment until the Abraham is accepted. So yes, I was doing diplomacy. You take the name, you send the name to the U.S. government. For instance, I'm appointing Tomalin George as our ambassador in Washington, D.C. If the Abraham is accepted, then the executive mansion will make an announcement. Tomalin George has been appointed as ambassador to the United States of America. And then in that line, they send the name for confirmation, the rest of that. Now, probably people playing games and people believe that George Soros role he played before because he made out a toxic statement before. He's very erratic also. Can that person be a very good choice to be ambassador to the European leave? Belgium. Belgium is one, the kingdom of Belgium. And most of the other countries. But the most important thing, you are the ambassador to the European Union. And that's one of the reasons why this guy didn't want to leave the place. He been here since 2016 as our ambassador when Eddie appointed him. Nyenwolo. He loved this job.
The 4-pointer.
Yeah, this job, to me, is a very powerful job. You interact in the EU Zoom. So that's one of the reasons. And I want to believe that folks in the government believe somehow that this guy is too political. He too toxic a little bit. There may be some problem. In diplomacy, you need someone that is linear, that will strike the balance, that will understand the diplomatic language, that will not be that if making those kind of incendiary comments, that will be savvy, you know. So basically, that's one of the reasons why those things are happening. But again, let it
get a job to Solo, man. Solo got my endorsement on this.
No. I'm speaking here as a pundit, right? A diplomatic pundit.
Solo watching you.
Analyzing.
You're not noticing, so you're happy.
Analyzing what I'm saying.
I think Solo.
I'm not against getting the job. Yeah, but I'm saying things from the reason why it's on. And I'm not the one I appointed him anyway. So
why it is true that one can say I'm one of those who often frown, and anyone on here can admit, they will tell you that I'm one of those who's often on Delon's case. Okay, yes, Delon and I had a conversation.
Rather than man, I haven't thought Delon could over Delon.
Yeah, right. Delon and I had a you're right, Tomalin. I had a conversation. We had a lengthy conversation. When was that? Saturday morning. But at the end of the day, though, let's look at the decision that is being made and the character that is being discussed here. Right? George Soros. How this individual have character. An ambassador represents all of us. The character of this individual, is that one that you and I will want to sit here and say that our lawmakers should endorse his appointment and have him confirmed? I said no. This is why we are facing so much problem in Liberia. You know why? Because we don't focus on the job, the importance of the job. You know what we dwell on? Our decision is often on our proximity to this individual. Oh, the man's my friend. I didn't begin. I mean, he's a good guy. Let him just do it. No. In this case, any other person, I would have been on Delon or Yombly case to say what they're doing. If they shouldn't do it, but I'd had the opportunity, I probably would do worse than that, because this dude don't represent the true image of Liberians that we are hoping for to represent at the international community. No, this dude we're talking about, I can put up several videos of again, I don't want to get into that. The diplomatic aspect of things requires some level of the tolerance okay, intelligence, and several other attributes that must come with this individual's character. Unfortunately, that is not one. And Pewee, who actually understands the international community and understands the issue of foreign affairs, just told you the importance of this job. This position is not just an ordinary position. It's very important. So should we sit here, Dan?
So let me come in. Let me
land.
Yeah,
Let me
please,
land.
please,
Should we
please.
sit here, Alex, and make the same mistake that we made with President Boycott today, that we are complaining about his inability to perform? Because once this individual extends to that position, he's there. Now we will have to hopefully pray that he perform. Unfortunately, I personally say I disagree with his appointment, and I disagree with any confirmation hearing for him.
All right.
To extend to that position, and that's my point.
Let me come in there. First of all, we have to understand, Lofa, nobody is an angel in this country.
No, but not everybody is as rude as Solo.
Hold on, brother. Hold on, please. Relax.
Okay.
Nobody, none of us, I mean, even the person who currently sits in that role was a key participant of the war in this country. I think he actually worked for Laura or so, and we got him as ambassador there today. I have my differences with George Solo. I understand some of his actions. I mean, from a political standpoint, from a campaign standpoint, he's a firebrand guy. So if you dislike his opinions during political times, that would be different from his administrative role. Maybe you dislike what he did during political seasons. That would be different. Political time, everybody. And that is the problem with this country. It starts from the presidency even down. Our high court disagreement with people. One of Boaka's basic mistakes today is the fact that he's very unreconciliatory. He feels that people who differ with him should not even survive. It happened for the George Weah administration. It's not happening with the Boaka administration, and we want to continue in that path as a country. We fail to realize that after election, our differences should be put aside. We should put this path. Yes.
He's a deacon. He's a deacon. You know that, right?
Yeah. But all of them got the same attitude. They feel that after election, when we should put all these 5 million people together, we should put our best brains to run our country. We're now looking for who this person, when was this person, and blah, blah, blah. That's why the country going nowhere. We start looking for who supported off where. In fact, imagine a professional guy who was, I think, one of the deputies for LBS. The guy appointed to the Ministry of National Defense as assistant minister. They were working for LBS. People are beclouded now with the thought that they may were working for George Weah. They may have gone for confirmation. Yes, they may have gone for confirmation whatsoever. They can't get him any job because why? He worked on a George Weah administration. We got to stop this. This country has come of age. And these people sit on their television and they're watching all the campaign speeches from presidential candidates in America. When these people go for debates and things, they sit on their television up to 1, 2 a.m. in the country. And they see these people talking about, yes, when I win an election, I will bring some Republicans on board, I will bring some Democrats on board. When they come to power, they want to change.
Did we lose signal from the entire show, or
I'm here, bro.
Okay.
No, I think we are still here. Let Johnny, you've been on for a while. You haven't contributed yet, so let's hear from you. I would like to respond to Togar, but okay. Let's hear from you first, Johnny.
So, let me say thank you guys for holding on to the show. I came on earlier, but no one had joined, and I received some guests. I'm a stranger in the US, so a lot of people coming to see me. Some of my old high school guys from 20, 30 years back. But anyway, just talking about the diplomatic appointment. My view on this matter is that every government, you draw up your team based on your condition. I don't know whether this platform has gotten the profile of this newly nominated or appointed person to the position. Because what I would advise is that if the platform can get a profile of individuals, we discuss the person profile, then the profile can lead us to understand whether the person has the capacity, has the competence, has the necessary ingredients to serve in this capacity as ambassador to the European Union. But my advice would be is this: Liberia is a difficult country right now. We came from so many difficult conditions. So I expected that President Boakai, in his effort to rebrand Liberia and make Liberia move faster, to look for the best individuals who will help him to sell Liberia out there in the more positive and progressive way. You understand? So EU is a very, very strong international development partner to Liberia. So who do you send out there that will attract the European people to Liberia in the sense of investment, in the sense of giving you development support? So I don't know how strong is our brother Solo to do this work, looking at the urgency. Because for me right now, I think Liberia is at an urgent, it's in an urgent position, urgent need for influx of support. Our employment is not enough to sustain our country the way we want it to run. So my advice would be that, look, people you appoint to these international agencies, international regions, should be individuals that have the capacity to attract attention to your country and be able to promulgate your message out there, your foreign policy. So, firstly, let's see what is current government's foreign policy when it comes to our agenda, our new agenda, because I know the new agenda developing is, I think it's IAAD also. So, I mean, I don't know Solo's capacity. I don't know Solo to the extent that he will be a good ambassador. Like I heard Togar saying, the former person who was there also, that person also, what did we achieve for the last almost 10 years of Ambassador or Nyenwolo being in Europe? What did we achieve as a country? You understand? Let's evaluate that. If you spend 5, 6, 7, 8 years there, how do we benefit from European development effort in Liberia? How do we grow our economy? How do we support our infrastructure development? Now we're bringing somebody called Solo, right? I don't know much about him. I will hope that you guys on the platform who are close to him.
I just wanted to end my thoughts quickly. I just wanted to end my thoughts quickly. Hey, Lofa, hold on. I just wanted to end my thought. You can tell your whole story.
You're right. I will talk my whole story. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can. So let me look. First of all, I think Solo has the credentials. That's no doubt. The man who you're talking about that the man's supposed to face for confirmation lacks all of that, and we technically got no issue. Dillon has no credential to stand in front of somebody and say he can confirm that as well. What he brings to the Committee on Foreign Affairs. What does Dillon bring? Let me require
credentials.
No. What does Dillon bring to be chairman on foreign relations? Nothing.
His longevity in government.
Absolutely. Zero. That man who brings nothing to the table stands before other people and say, this is a sad part of the country. How do we even put these people? Because to even put the people on committee at the legislature, they must come with a credential. How you got somebody on foreign affairs committee to be questioning the credential of people like Josh? Even if you get all your issue with Josh Solo, he has his credential. He has it.
So Togar,
he has managed a whole political party in the country.
So Togar,
the man he's going to replace was part of the carnage of the country. You don't get issue with all of that. You get issue with the individual because maybe he campaign speeches and all of that. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Josh Solo in any form, but I think the people who are making those positions that he not qualify, what qualifications they bring? Zero.
So, thank you, Togar. Let me just say this, right? Let me address this.
You gotta hijack me,
Liberia's biggest problem, and Johnny, I'll give you the chance to come on back too. I think we got
hijack you.
Hijack me.
We got about 15 more minutes.
Yeah, no problem.
We'll give you the chance to talk, Johnny. But here's my thing, right? Liberia's biggest problem is the idea that we are repetitive in our decision making to the extent where we are willing to repeat the mistakes without learning from them. I listened to Togar here telling us because folks in the past may have been whether elected or selected, it makes it okay to bring in more people of the same kind. How logical can anyone? Togar, you are a bright young man. Think in a much more innovative way. Think outside the box, not the continuous repetitive idea of making the same mistakes. Remember, you kill my mom, you kill my papa, I will vote for you. Remember, whether you or not, I will still elect you. You're crying about boycott today. Okay? And several other slogans that we have used over time. This is the time that we erect the needed checkpoint. And I hear a lot of us who are self-proclaimed intellectuals will say, oh, it's time that we intellectualize the conversation, and you're using all of these political jargons or dictions to simply fool those of us, the uneducated people, and make us think that you really understand the issue. But you are leaving out the nitty-gritty of it, just the basics of it. You look at a man because of previous mistakes, and you want to bring him back because you made a mistake. You elected Darius DeLon, so now it's okay to bring in Solo, who can openly sit, okay? Openly sit and just use profanity regardless. And you want to put him in a diplomatic position and say, because you're close to him, put him in a position that
don't equate the man. Don't equate the man role doing a campaign process to that.
That is not doing a campaign process.
You probably know Joshua when you are campaigning. Beyond campaigning, maybe you don't know him again. Beyond campaigning, you don't know the man again, probably.
No. Any position I'm elected or appointed. So I will not make this a dialogue between you and I. I will not make this a dialogue between you and I because all I have to trump me.
So you voted again. The Darius DeLon you talk about saying you're going to point Joe. He said you're going to point Joe. The Darius DeLon man.
Togar, I am upset. I am upset with Darius DeLon. I am disappointed.
Darius DeLon, he said I'm going to stone Joe.
So Togar, I am disappointed in Darius DeLon's performance. I have critiqued him. And I continue to critique him.
You disappointed, but I didn't mean to go conference solo. But he disappointed.
Okay. But here's my thing, though.
The man you disappointed. He's supposed to go conference solo.
Here, I think your focus is because of probably the relationship or the friendship between you and Dallas Solo. It's okay.
I got no relationship whatsoever.
The mistake. So what I'm saying to us here,
we got no relationship.
Somebody else coming.
Here
So yeah, man. So gentlemen, I think this should not be
campaign speech. You walk out there. Everybody will fire everybody.
Yeah, man. Togar, I put the boss.
Yeah, go ahead, Chico.
Togar, I put the boss. So look, let me say something, right? Look, gentlemen. Let us not draw Liberia's situation to individual matters. When you say you have somebody to go to serve as a country's representative internationally,
thank you.
Let that become the issue of our discussion here. Let's discuss Liberia's best interest. Personally, my interest is I believe Liberia need to make progress as fast as possible. So in this current period in time, I expect my government to be thinking more of out of the box and finding a way that we can quickly attract the developed world to come to us immediately as fast as possible. So our issue, I would have thought that we would have gotten a profile of this individual on the discussion where we're discussing whether the person's profile is strong enough to represent Liberia out there. Forget about whether DeLon has credential to endorse it or not to endorse it. That's for me, that's little for me.
But the main profile is strong. The main profile is not equal.
Give me China.
I just want to clear. The man has some masters. The main profile is clean. Full lead profile. Okay. I mean, not talking about profile. Lofa is not talking about profile. He's not talking about credential. Lofa is not speaking to that. So Lofa instead know that the man has some solid credential. So Lofa not going to the main credential.
Togar, when I'm talking about profile, I'm not looking at academic. I'm not looking at what school you went to. I'm looking at your ability to serve in this capacity to draw our people, our country attention. That's what I'm looking at. I mean, I don't know Solo in person. I don't know. I was seeing today, Papa here. I know him, know me. I didn't know him. I'm discussing Liberia at a crucial point. What are we doing to elevate our conditions out there? Is it prepared to carry a message out there, international message to the community to come to our aid as early as possible or as quick as possible? That's my concern. I don't care why you got PhD or no PhD. My issue is, Liberia need people now to go out there to do our work. I mean, Pewee is an expert on the show when it comes to foreign policy because he has experience working with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and he has experience being around, Liberian body politics for a period of 10 or more years, right? But who are we right now? Where are we now as Liberia? Where do we want to go in the next 5 years? What is our strategic foreign policy when it comes to Europe? Is this man ready to do of our policy when it comes to Europe to draw European attention to Liberia? That's my concern. If you think he has all those qualities, then good. They started to confirm me and let him do the work for Liberia.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny,
because we want to be out of here by at least.
Let me come in, please. I beg
yeah,
you,
quickly,
please.
Raul, before you come in, quickly.
Let's use this to kind of include our closing.
Let me say this. Let me say this.
The guys back home are curious to go. Okay, go ahead, Robert.
Let me say this. I know Togar said something about that the main campaign thing you want to use to judge it.
Thank you.
But campaign.
Sorry, bro, causing on the campaign, so it made me
but we're not. But
I can't my man.
But
no,
campaign.
Man. Are you saw things?
We're not.
You see why I'm talking? So that you
you not let Robert talk?
So it means you agree that campaign thing you agree.
Yes,
agree campaign thing.
So
Robert said, let Robert lead, and then we will be able to get the idea. He's go ahead, Robert.
Liberian people elect their leaders based on what? Campaigns.
Right.
Leaders are elected based on campaigns. So part of what we look for is not only how well articulate one is when it comes to, telling us your platform, but also your temperament. I know in Liberia is different. Your temperament, right? How you conduct yourself, how you respond when you're under pressure, right? How do you conduct yourself when you're under pressure, when things have been thrown at you, when you're under attack? So to just say that campaign thing you were going to use to judge it, man, campaign is significant when it comes to public service, especially politics in Liberia. So George Solo is a public figure when it comes to Liberian politics, right? So whether it's campaign or not campaign, George Solo is expected to conduct himself as the professional as he is. Simple. I'm not saying that it doesn't get fierce. I'm not saying that people don't throw jabs here and there. We watched a very fierce debate between Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, but there was not a single insult. Here is my view. George Solo is a thug. Let me just put it that way. If you think that George Solo has what it takes because he has a master's degree to represent Liberia internationally, then why are we bashing people like the man calls and podcast hero Prophet Key? Why? Right? Or is it because he doesn't have a master's degree? Here's my point. If you have a master's degree, if you are educated, if you're sophisticated, but yet conduct yourself as a man who is less sophisticated than you are, then what makes you a difference? You're no different. And so I would not, in good conscience, support George Solo in such a diplomatic role. George Solo, over the years, has not proved that he has the temperament to survive under pressure. He hasn't done that. And we can disagree all day. My disagreement with him is not personal. But you can disagree all day. You can disagree with George Weah. And I've always said this. Not once you will ever hear me insult the president, not Joseph Boakai. I fiercely disagree with Joseph Boakai on many, many issues in Unity Party. But I also have a lot of friends in that government that I respect on an individual level. We can disagree and still conduct ourselves in the way that we are supposed to conduct ourselves. George Solo has not conducted himself in any way that proves or justify him having that position. So I will end by saying this. If the president knew what look, this is all a reward of what George Solo did against CDC. We expected this, right? But is that everyone that you're going to reward for speaking out against CDC or going to war against CDC? We saw what happened on this very platform when George Solo appeared against Kev Hassan. We saw what happened. I mean, he has no temperament. He has no control What's going to happen if he's speaking in the inner interest of our country and someone came and came to attack him? Is he going to go crazy? No, we need people. We need serious leaders. I would respect a man who has an associate degree, but a better temperament, knows how to conduct himself, knows how to disagree with people without being disagreeable, than a man who has a master's degree but does not have the temperament and does not know how to conduct himself in the
Let me
public.
let me get my closing.
I won't do that.
Yep.
Let me get my closing.
Thank you. Go ahead, Togar.
My point is this: if the president has nominated George Solo for ambassador, I think it's the prerogative of the Senate to carry out confirmation hearings. The Senate can grill the man. All those who have got concerns about him can raise those concerns with the Senate committee. The Senate cannot see the man as guilty even before he can be heard. This is wrong.
Togar is on a strong preparation today.
No.
You see, I think about our country.
No. You have the opportunity to
my
respond.
man. Let Togar land. My man, I used to work for
his
Georgia.
public relation will be it will be.
I used to work for Georgia. Nobody I had a critical issue with more than George Solo. George Solo, he said knows that. If George Solo hears me on this show tonight, he will even be surprised. I'm very serious about that. If George Solo just hears what I'm saying tonight, he will be very surprised that Bealded was saying there about him. I have been very critical of George Solo. In fact, I wrote an article called Rise and Fall of George Solo. Google it online. I wrote it on George Solo before I fell off or even we are. So it's not about him. It's about the fact that we citizens of this country and will be given an opportunity to serve our country. Whether or not people like us or whatever we are. It has to stop.
Thank you.
And who there in the Senate that say other people will not serve? Who there won't talk about credentials? You get one man that said he's a trained Russian and he will run on what they got in from district number 10 and they will get at him. That man is assistant minister at internal affairs. He said he will care. He's assistant minister at internal affairs. Then we come. The president nominates a guy to a role as ambassador. And people sit in the Senate and they conspire that they may not even come to be heard. Oh man, if you want to face off, is Dara Dillon know his educational prowess is better off than George Solo? Call George Solo to the confirmation hearing.
Okay.
Build the man. Question. Bring
Thank you, Togar.
Let the man have a say. That's why
thank you, Togar. Let's get other closing. Togar, let's get other people closing.
If they
don't want no amount of time will get you.
People from Grand Chile can't.
Togar, other people gotta close.
Yes.
Come on. Let's hear from Pewee. Pewee, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. This is what I would say. The ambassador, extraordinary and plenipotentiary to the Kingdom of Belgium, the European Union, Luxembourg, and other countries, because you got competent accreditation. That is a very critical role, particularly one of the major integrity body, the European Union. They try to counter-check most of one activities and the rest of it. If you can recall, Mr. Solo himself made a lot of not only incendiary comments, but comment that could even indict himself. About he thought he was trying to expose the former president at the time about some deeds that they did this. And the EU talk about accountability, they take accountability very seriously. Right? So if you go into those kind of institutions, if they're not taking you serious, you do nothing to impact the European Union support our national development agenda. That is very pivotal and very a critical role. Now, here we need to do a very strategic and critical, delicate balance of what we think we want to do. I'm not against him going there. He may be competent to do the job, right? But again, the European Union is a critical area and the rest of that. I will wish him all of the best if he's prepared to get the job done, because you need to tie some strings in the process of making sure you lock horn with some major leader. Because remember, the EU support our budget system very consistently. if they start having problem with us. And there was time that EU, even the Belgian government started having issue about diplomatic passport process. The EU, the German government, the Belgian government, the European Union raised some very serious concern about it on the kind of matters. So it is the prerogative of the president. But if indeed the Senate is not trying, I don't know the facts behind all of what we're saying, but if the appointment have not been announced, have the appointment been announced? No, the appointment have not been announced. So here is it. Now, if I don't even know if the agreement have been accepted, then it have to give room to the president to do the appointment and send the name. Because immediately when the agreement is accepted, the president will have now to do the appointment and send it to the Senate. Now, so in these kind of conditions, if it's like in the case of those that are representing us as honorary counsel, we have something they call the exequatur. When the exequatur is sent in and something do the review, the appointment is done. But again, let me wish him well if it is true. But the fact that the appointment has not been done first and foremost, it can go to the Senate. So I just got reminded just now that we discussed something about that. They don't hold the Senate. They're not holding nothing. There's been no appointment done. So too many said this. I didn't even know yet. So behind the scene, I just received a message just now for someone that said, no, the appointment has not been done yet.
You see?
So the appointment has not been done. It cannot be sent to the Senate. The president will have to do the appointment before they send those names to the Senate for confirmation. So probably again, it is the process that we're looking at here into, that the executive marshal says did not even show the way appoint him. So thank you, guys. Have a very pleasant night.
Thank you, Pewee. Robert, let's hear from you.
So listen, Liberia is a very interesting country. Yeah, the appointment has not been made yet because the president still, he's still fussing between whether or not Solo is his guy or not. But let me say that Liberia is a very interesting place. People are talking about he should have his day at the Senate. Yeah, let him have a day at the Senate. You remember recently the CSA talked about auditing credentials. You remember that?
Yeah.
Well, after they made that announcement, there was news that 8 of its officials have fake degrees. 8 of them. Okay. Now imagine the people who are auditing for fake degrees and credentials themselves have no credibility when it comes to actual credentials. I mean, imagine you got a guy like Dylan in the house, and I don't mean to denigrate this guy, asking or questioning people on their degrees, on their expertise. He himself don't have no degree. You are questioning me on my qualifications and my degree, but you have no degree. So what gave you the right to question me?
You went student by apprenticeship.
Yeah,
no,
fine.
because people say you were elected. No, you can be elected, but you don't have to serve on certain committee that you don't have qualifications.
Let me finish.
Let me frank for it. Because you elected, so you can hear.
Sylvester,
you can tell any committee in the legislature because you were elected. No,
Togar, thank you.
You must have qualification for the committee.
Thank you.
The rule is that you have qualification.
Is the Grand Bassa reunion over there? Togar and Robert?
No. It blows my mind. It blows my mind that the people we have in these committees that are questioning to some extent serious professionals. Do you think I would take Dylan serious if I were to be appointed, for instance, as tourism minister, and then I go and sit in front of Dylan and others, right? These guys got elected.
You won't question me on tourism.
You can't question me. Yeah, it's an insult to my intelligence.
Okay, so Robert, let me ask you a quick question.
Robert,
can I ask a quick question?
No. Ask me a question, but don't interrogate me on my degree.
No, I'm not gonna interrogate you on that. I'm just.
I'm talking about the Senate people then.
Yeah, but here's my thing though. Here's the thing, right? You spoke of one's competence or hopefully awareness of the position in which they serve. It is alleged that our brother George Lobo is serving as a consultant at the education ministry.
No, not on the education, or even MCC.
Right. It is alleged. Will you, Robert, then say
they made a consultant everywhere.
Let me be on the record, Lofa. If there are any facts as to George Lobo serving as a consultant to the Ministry of Education, I will be the first one to say this is an embarrassment.
Okay.
George Lobo, I don't even think George Lofa will accept such a thing, right?
Okay.
Because that's not his area. And I can tell you right now, that's a blatant lie.
Okay.
Because I heard about that. That's a lie.
Okay.
You know, people are having all the different assumptions because the president has not officially appointed George Lofa. The man appointment will come, but he's not consulting. The president have asked him on some occasions to accompany, for instance, the Minister of Education when she did her assessment tour, and he did that. So the president have asked him to do these different assignments and things like that, but he's not serving as a consultant.
But
my point here is you got people who are serving as police for certain things, but they themselves don't have the requisite credentials to even have these conversations. So when you go to the Foreign Affairs, for instance, Foreign Affairs Committee, these are people who have experience in these areas. They understand the subject and verb, the subject matter. Not people who don't have the expertise. Now we can have these conversations. But it just speaks to our country and where we find ourselves, that people who are questioning serious professionals, they themselves don't have the credentials to even sit in that seat to have those conversations, and it's embarrassing.
Fair. All right, Johnny, close us up. I'm not gonna close, or I'll take my time. You guys just close up, and then we'll take the guys back home to take us home. Go ahead, Johnny.
All right. So thank you. I mean, like I said, I don't have interest in discussing the individual personalities. I have interest in who my president will select or appoint to serve my country to a strategic region of the world. I mean, I guess by this time our government will have a strategic foreign policy with regards to the EU, to Europe, so that whoever he appoints there will be someone who understands that strategic foreign policy to immediately begin to make Liberia to gain its relationship improved in a way that our economy gets to get support from outside the world. Another point also I want to close up is that our legislature is not identified for only PhDs or master degree holder or bachelor degree holders. Our constitution says that the people should elect them their deputy. So whoever becomes a senator or representative is a deputy of the people. Again, until we can improve our educational system where maybe 80-90% of people in the country are literate, fully literate. You understand? Then we'll begin to see that playing out into our government. In as much as we have a very poor literate society, we expect the structure of our government to have the mixture of our society. That's a clear fact, because our government is a representation of ourselves. So equally so, those who don't have a bachelor degree or BSc or master's or PhD, but serving as senator representative and also serving as head of committees, where they should try to find a way how do we perform their duty in a way that it doesn't undermine their existence or undermine their function.
How do you do it, Johnny? If you don't have the requisite experience, what other way can you find?
guys. So
okay, but anyway, Robert. Thank you, but Robert, thank you guys. Togar, thank you guys all for the show. I'm so bad at joining you guys lately, but I think the few minutes I joined the show, we're able to make our contribution and make our impact. And thank you to all our listeners and viewers. Keep coming to the show. This program is not just about individual. It's about helping you to set your bearing, set yourself in terms of how Liberia look like, and how to make decisions. Please see the closing argument as a partner to Liberia and to you yourself, your community, and your family. Thank you, Lofa. Thank you to the rest of the team.
Thank you, guys. Guys, have a good night.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Yep.